problems, and you just never solve them, 'cause you always in drama. It's alarming, it's alarming. Girl, I just need clarity. Can you just let me breathe? Oh, I don't wanna let you in, but it's too late now. Never solve them, 'cause you always in drama. It's alarming, it's alarming. Girl, I just need clarity. Can you just let me breathe? Oh, I don't
Thank you for the donation, Jeffy. Keeping this stream alive. We got lots of new emotes today, chat. We got lots of new emotes today. I added a bunch. I fixed the Hadouken so it actually matches Ken's hand. Chump Change and his viewers just joined. Yo! What up? Yo, shout out to my boy Chump Change. I fixed the Hadouken. You guys didn't even use the second part of the Hadouken. Look. Look, it used to be off-centered. Look, it's fixed. Look at that. Quality stream. All right, let me set up. Hold up. What's up, Chump Change? Viewers, I appreciate you guys. Hey, if you ever want to host with me, let me know, Chump. Call in. You could be the co-host, buddy. Fuck them kids. Got a stream to do. All right, I'll be right back.
I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around. Oh man, your boy. Oh man, your boy Kevin just lost. Hadouken! Oh, but that's okay. I am with you, with you. Oh man, your boy Kevin just lost lots of money. Oh, but that's okay. I am with you. Here we go.
Of course you can't see me, bro. This is the intro.
Find the dip. Here we go. Come on, push it. Find the dip. Find the dip. Here we go. Come on, push it.
Find the dip. Find the dip. I added Dynex and Caspa, and I fixed the Hadouken button, boys, for the emotes. So for my members, we added Caspa. We already had Ergo. I had to remove Flux. We'll probably bring back Flux, but I had to remove something to add 22, so I will figure that out. Anyways, new emotes for everybody. There you go. Good looking out, Chump Change. 72 viewers, 20 likes.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Perfect.
Buying the dip. Buying the dip.
Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening? Here we go, come on, push it.
Buying the dip. Buying the dip.
Here we go.
Yo, my boy, financial failure.
Perfect.
Feeling generous today. Plus, I got shit to do, so I can't stay. Hustle hard. Yo, my man. Thank you for keeping the stream alive. You and Jeff Key. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Much love to all of you. Buy the dip. Quit being soft. It's time to sack up. Hodl gang, the bull run is coming. Get your money.
Come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening? Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening? Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Buying the dip, buying the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening? Here we go, come on.
Damn, Teaspoon. Hold on, let me read this. Teaspoon says, just heard my aunt and uncle basement out in Utah totally flooded due to the insane rain. 4-inch plus in the basement. 3 feet plus filled in the windows. Damn, bro. Yo. Shout out to Teaspoon's uncle and aunt. Yo, good luck, man. Sorry to hear that. Keep it going, though. Stay strong. Tell them come join the chat. We'll hype them up.
Perfect.
Stop the cap.
You thought I was going to play the good song for you? And what? Absolutely not. 36 likes? You thought you were about to get a face reveal with 36 likes?
Stop the cap.
You thought you were going to get the good part of the song with 38 likes and no hype? 45. Now we're talking 50. We show face. 50 likes. We show face. Otherwise, you've all been banned. No music for any of you.
Stop the cap.
I'm not. We're going to sit here in silence. Okay, 50 likes. I like that. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Love you. Let me see them new emotes, boys. Let me see it. Hype it up. The world's greatest Friday night stream you have ever seen. Woo! Come on, baby. Spam that shit. Bring the drop back. I need more spam. Put it right in my face. Give me that eggplant. Come. Let's go!
Perfect.
Stop the cap.
Give me the emotes. Come on, man. Right here. Right in the mouth. Nom. Tell your baby mama, the mailman, the lady down the street, the side chicks that ain't getting no dick unless it's after 2 a.m. that we live. Oh, there's a side chick out there watching right now. I'm so sad. DJ just called me out. Good.
Perfect.
Whoa! Max voltage. I know I did not just read what I just read.
Stop the cap.
Sunflower Mama said, "Isn't that Hawk's music?" Excuse? What? I am the originator of this song. Are you kidding me? I love my boy Hawk though, and I don't mind him using it.
Stop the cap.
Are you kidding me? Me steal mute? Everybody steals my swag. What are you talking about? I am the originator, the one, the only. Love you guys. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the wonderful show. It's going to be a great show this evening. I hope you're all excited. Hey, I don't mind. I like when people borrow what I like. Because we all know who does it the best. When it comes down to laying down the pee-pee, you know who's got the biggest pee-pee in the room. Hold on, one more song and then we get it going. Let's go. Go. Let's see those new emotes.
Perfect.
I'm fast as fuck, boy. Still fast as fuck, boy.
Perfect.
All right, enough. I have given you enough hype train for the rest of your lives. Hello, everybody. So we have a great stream planned tonight. Ergo is definitely coming on. Shout out to Ergo. Shout out to all the Ergonauts. If you're here for Ergo, let's see it, eh? Dude, I love this camera. Look at the way it like blurs out this bottle. It's so amazing, bro. Like the way I haven't focused on humans, but like, look, it focuses on this bottle. Hold on. It prefers humans over objects. Look at that, bro. And it like blurs everything around it. Isn't that amazing, dude? Dude, isn't that amazing? The way it like, look at my face, dude. And look how fast the autofocus is, bro. You see that shit? It's only for humans fast. I have to put objects if I want. Watch my face right now. Shoo! Okay, that wasn't as fast. Incredible, dude. Fucking incredible. I shut my Ergo node off. Done with them. Oh, really? All right. What do you guys think of my hat? Shout out to Must Miners for sending this to it. Well, actually, they didn't send it. I got this in real life. Shout out to Must Miners. This video is not sponsored by them. But those who take a risk on me, my wild self, I know I'm crazy. Look, I'm not for everybody. I get that. But for those who fuck with me, I appreciate you guys. So shout out to my boys over there. Must Miners, man. Much love. Send me links. Sure. Are you talking about to the camera? Are you sure? I'm going to send you an affiliate link in case you buy it. Oh, that's got to be a lot of money. How much would the affiliate link be on that? My lens was $1,800. My camera was like $2,000. Let me get the exact same one I bought. Give me a minute. I'm looking. Oh yeah, I just found it. Okay, this is the exact one I bought. Damn, I paid $2,400 for this shit. Oh my god, I didn't even know I spent $2,400. Damn, I spent $2,400. I bet you could get this for cheaper, bro. That's just the camera there, and here is the lens. This is the G Master. Damn, I think. Damn, that's a lot. Oh, what? Bro, the price went down $600? I spent $1,800 on this lens. Now it's $1,300. 2 weeks later. What? This is some bullshit right here. Holy crap, dude. Bro, this is absurd. What? 800 cheaper? Hold on, I gotta hide my camera. We're gonna get Ergo on the show. Okay, here we go. Our first contestant. First viewer call in. The myth, the man, the legend. Hold on, I didn't put the, I messed up the camera. Don't judge me. Hold on. Can you guys guess who this is? Can you see who it is? Shabam. Joseph. Yo, I can't hear you actually. Can you guys hear him? Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
No.
Oh, now I hear you, brother.
Perfect.
What's up, dude? So, tell us about yourself, Joseph from Ergo.
All right. Say that again.
Tell us about yourself, Joe.
All right. Well, I'm a member of the Ergo Foundation. That's kind of a loosely knit group of developers, community members around the world. There's only about 7 of us. We represent basically 5 continents.
Wow.
So we try to keep it pretty distributed. So, yeah, we have a lot of, disputes, discussions, how to keep a system decentralized, not favor one area. And we just try to build open source cool shit that benefits everybody.
Right on, man. I love to hear that. So I know there's a lot of things going on with Ergo. Like, I follow you guys on Twitter. I follow all of you individually. What can you tell us some of the things? Because I think the last time I really got to speak to Ergo on a stream was right after the merge. So what do you think has happened since the merge for Ergo?
Well, I mean, basically, it's just been trying to build neat ideas, right? We've had one area of development that's Oracle-based. You get a lot of point-to-point data transfers in the space and, call that kind of secure. Chainlink is probably dominant right now, and that's, basically a 4 of 9 multi-sig, maybe 1 of 9, maybe 2 of 9, maybe 3, who knows? Sometimes when you get into multi-sigs, who actually knows if it's one guy with multiple signatures or, actually is distributed? Hard to know. So we've tried to build a framework that gives a certain redundancy there that people can verify. Stable coins are popular. There's always drama around Tether and USDC and, freezing and all of that stuff. So we've been trying to build a lot of different internal stablecoin protocols, one of which has been live for a couple of years, 2 of which are in development. Hopefully we can push those to mainnet.
What are the names of that?
Okay, so one of them is, the original was SigUSD. Basically, that's a smart contract that creates an over-collateralized stablecoin. It's actually kept its peg through all the nonsense. And if you look at the price action of Ergo, it's been all over the place, and it's kept peg, which is awesome.
Yep.
Another one is Gluon, which is kind of like SIG-USD V2, trying to take the economic assumptions of that and improve them. Then another one is called DEXI, which is basically a simple stablecoin protocol that's going to be pegged to gold. So we're just trying to build, open source things, make sure they kind of work, battle test them, and hopefully, if you get something like that right, you have the ability to really open the space up and get away from a lot of the centralized stuff that people are kind of locked into. So
there is a lot of centralized stuff. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead, man.
Oh no, I mean that's in essence the goal with the stablecoin vector is, a lot of them are just banked and freezable, reversible, fun. If you have an actual decentralized ecosystem that's open to everybody in the world, you can't have that. It only works, if you play along in the rules in one area, and that's really not what decentralization is supposed to be about.
I respect that answer. That's a really deep answer. I haven't heard somebody say it like that in a while. Okay, what is the one thing you're the most excited about for Ergo, either currently in development or in the future, or you see with Ergo?
I kind of sit on the back end, like the network side. We just rolled out these NepoPound nodes. I mean, maybe you've been tracking that.
I knew something about the node, but I don't know much about the details.
All right. So basically, you're a miner. Every once in a while, you produce a block that has an extra 0 in the block header. It's a random feature of proof of work, right? And you can kind of use that to checkpoint a chain, to where you kind of create a chain on top of the base layer that says, if we created a chain of just these super blocks with the extra 0, and you can in essence kind of compress the data of the chain itself, if you assume that consensus is held throughout that, so you can catch up to like the tip of the chain really rapidly by connecting this chain of super blocks.
Okay.
And so that allows us to basically create a ultralight node that I think the ongoing record, the fastest I've seen is like 3 minutes, right? And the amount of data that it takes is basically nothing. You get full node security without trade-offs, which is huge because a lot of people are using light wallets in this space, which means they're using someone else's server, right? So you create like a quick server sync and you have better assumptions. And that moves us to this idea of like, a smartphone full node wallet. Hopefully, we can get that on smart TVs, refrigerators, all kind of nonsense. And
run Ergo node on a TV and a phone?
Yeah, that was a hackathon project that we've already, seen somebody work on running a Ergo node on a TV. And with NepoPound Sync, the barrier of entry just gets lower. So
that is cool. I got a spare phone. I want to try it.
Yeah. I think you might need like Termux, some kind of Linux distro, like a virtual machine on there, but it's doable, which is pretty cool, in my opinion. Especially if you can sync it pretty rapidly, because then we get into this idea of saying, okay, if we're going to actually be a global system, a lot of people don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah.
That a lot of networks require just to participate. So if we can get that barrier as low as possible, you just open the door to more users.
I like that. So I have a question about these nodes, right? So, because you said there was like an extra 0, and it was, what did you call it? It was like
it's a super block.
Basically, block. Okay.
Yeah, basically the block header has an extra 0. It's a random feature of proof of work, right?
Okay.
And so you can use these super blocks to kind of create let's call it a secondary chain of just super blocks, right? And so you can see chain history in a more compressed state.
Now, would that be more rewards, or like how would that, like if you hit a super block, or?
No, it's just a random output in proof of work, right? It's like this random mechanism that you can't necessarily predict because it's built into the lottery, so to speak. And so every once in a while, a super block will pop out where, the block header is a little bit different. It has this unique feature, and it's like, hey, we can chain these super blocks together And, if you can create the right assumptions at the tip of the chain to, make sure that nothing is forked, you have basically like a compressed representation of chain history.
That is so cool. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just me. Maybe other people in chat knew that. I didn't know. So I'm just imagining this chain. Then we got the super chain. You're connecting the super chains.
Yeah.
That's cool. So normally,
it's basically a data compression technique. Like it sounds, I don't know, less sexy when you say that. Like NepoPal sounds interesting, but it's basically non-interactive proof of work. So you can use each super block as a proof, and you connect these proofs, and then you have basically some work that needs to happen around the tip of the chain to make sure you're on the right fork, or there's no funny business, and then you have the chain state.
That is cool. That is cool. Is that like a normal thing that everybody should know, or
it's been around in research for a while, right? I know at one point Litecoin was thinking about doing it. Bitcoin could theoretically do it. Most proof of work networks could do that. But there's just a bit of engineering involved in order to make that happen. It's something that, if you go back and read like the kind of genesis era of Ergo, that's always been in the plan. And it took us a couple of years to, get to that point where we had the free space and bandwidth to actually make that happen. But, it just has happened, which is awesome.
That's
so then we move into like this light era where you don't have security trade-offs, where a lot of people love these light wallets, because they're easy. You can run it in your browser, you can run it on your phone, but you have to trust someone. You're using a server somewhere that's not yours, and ideally that's not where you want to be.
So you're saying with the Ergo node, you're controlling it, and that's it's all you. So you put all your Ergo on that node.
Yeah, it's basically you're running your own state of the chain, right? So it's like a server, right? You're running your own server, and I do hope that cool. We get to this idea of like, okay, well, if you could mine on top of that, that would be pretty sweet to have a rapid sync and solo mine on top of a node without having to deal with the fun of downloading history if you're going to do that. So there's a lot of potential there to make the network more lightweight for users. Now, I'm sure there will be people that will run a full node. I always will, just because, then you have like the full state of the chain. But for a lot of people to connect, that's a pretty neat feature that you could,
cool.
sync in a couple of minutes and get best security assumptions.
So is that like your wallet, or can become a wallet for you?
Yeah. Basically,
cool.
we can create these ultralight wallets where basically you're running a full node wallet on your phone, right? You're communicating directly with the P2P layer of the blockchain rather than bouncing off someone's server to host your wallet, which is what happens most of the time with, light clients. You're using someone else to communicate with the blockchain rather than having like direct interface.
Dang. So that's way more secure in theory, right? I would imagine.
Yeah.
Than trusting I have a hardware wallet somewhere that kind of connects though. It's kind of weird.
Well, yeah, I guess it depends which hardware wallet.
Tangem?
I'm not that familiar.
So it's a credit card, but it's not really a credit card. It looks like a credit card, and then I have to scan it to my phone on the back, and then it sends it that like I have the money like through the app. I don't know.
Yeah. So you're probably using someone else's server. The idea there is to say, okay, well, I guess MetaMask is a good example. It's like, hey, if you're from this country, you can't use us, right? You can't use our servers. You're banned. You're, bad actor, right? That's kind of against being an open network, right? That's not necessarily good. So it tends to concentrate these systems into jurisdictions that play along. And, from the looks of it, looks like that's going to accelerate, right?
Yeah.
I'm like the one person on the foundation with boots in the ground in the US, and I'm watching all this nonsense. And I'm thinking, like if I were to say, hey, let's try to be compliant in the US, how many people would I rug? Like globally, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
So it's something that I guess projects really need to start thinking about and potentially engineering around, right? Is what it is.
It's a good point. Okay. So, what was I about to ask you? as far as I haven't seen an FPGA or ASIC. Do you know if there's any FPGAs or ASICs on Ergo? And if there were, and you found out there were, would you guys
Sure.
change Algo?
Now, this is a hard question. Okay, the first question is like, me as a foundation member, do I have the ability to fork the chain? No, I don't. Miners have to vote, right?
Okay.
So like that's like the first answer. Do FPGAs exist? Some do. Now they're all private, right? There was one that was made basically by a guy named Wolf, that he had the intent, hey, I'm going to sell this to market, and try to, basically, I don't know, make money off his work, right? The actual efficiency, I think, was 3.1 mega hash per watts, right? So that's roughly double, which is not good, but it's not crazy scary, right? You have people with like their power differences in costs. It's kind of within range. If you look at their, hardware, where do they get it? That's always a question in proof of work. You got people recycling computers and, really it's kind of being scrappy to build their rigs. So the input costs there are, somewhat variable. Me, I support GPU mining, right? I don't have the capacity to throw up another algo. That's not my specialty. But what I can do is I can take my foundation rewards and buy it, right? So I bought it and bricked it. That's why there's no FPGA. You're welcome, GPU miners.
Oh, thank you. So, okay, you said you bought it and bricked it. What does that mean?
What does that mean? It means I brought the software. I have one C111. I made sure it worked because obviously, that was like, oof, a year of my salary. But I try to work for miners. Like, that's actually part of our network ethos, right? So I took it, I paid the guy and said, hey, you did work, made sure it worked. And I said, okay, we're just going to brick it. And I tested on the test net to make sure, I didn't buy nothing, right? That's good plan. And so then I said, okay, we'll put it aside, right? And at this point, there's no public, block stream out there. So I would assume that maybe there are some private ones. There are some smart hardware developers out there, right? Like you always have to assume that that's a potential, but I can say, okay, I know the efficiency, so it's not crazy. It's not one of these things where it's like, oh, you got 10-1, 15-1 advantage over a GPU miner, but still, I would like to keep Ergo a GPU coin, so there it is. It's on the shelf. My one thing is no longer mining testnet, so off we go with Autolicos. I think that long term, that's always going to be a cat and mouse game, right? And so, like, from my perspective, the best thing I can do is push GPU miners down the chain, right? You get more emissions now. Hopefully, we don't, see anything that's crazy disruptive. I know that Bitmain is, asked me point blank, like, will you guys fork and, become, support ASICs? And it's like, well, you overestimate my power quite a bit. I can't do that. And, good luck convincing the miners to.
And I think that's an interesting point. That's one thing I've always enjoyed about Ergo, or respected about Ergo, is the community members vote, right? So I know there's a lot of projects out there. We don't need to get into names. And like Ethereum, okay, we'll get into Ethereum, right? Like,
no, Ethereum is
they
worth
own it kind of deal. This is what we're doing. Suck it up.
If you can rug all your consensus operators and give basically the chain security rewards to insiders and exchanges, that's basically says everything you need to know, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So we do have block-based voting. So if there were to be some kind of change, what would happen is miners would update their config file, or pools would. They would basically keep mining, and we have kind of like an internal registry that would register how their config settings or vote, is registered based on how many blocks are hit. So it's like democracy plus luck, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Some solo miner could come in and run the table and, in some weird world, influence the outcome. But that's only one thing. We have actually a ton of governance parameters that miners really don't know about and haven't played with yet, unfortunately, where you can adjust block size. You can adjust multiple types of cost mechanisms to potentially changed the reward structure and cost that miners receive. Like,
That's
and
all
you
of
can
us
do
voting, or how would that work?
yeah. It's all of you voting. So like, take the block size war from, you know, when Bitcoin, you know, was Bitcoin Cash, all that good drama, right? Ergo miners actually have the capacity to adjust block size on the fly. Like, you could do that, and you could push for that with pools, and like the foundation could do absolutely nothing to prevent that. It's built into the system. It has been since day one. If you wanted to raise the input fees or output fees of transactions, you have the ability to adjust costs. And the idea there was, you know, miners are running a business. You know, every business has like supply side costs, right? You know, GPUs go up, electricity goes up. Like, in most networks, you have no ability to adapt that cost and basically plug it into the network. Those tools are there. Unfortunately, you know, dealing with mining pools is not fun because they tend to basically do nothing but sit back and take their fee. But there's actually a tremendous amount of power that miners have in Ergo that I would love to see them start governing, using, planning long term. And you know, that's kind of hard to do in today's environment, just because mining profitability is rough, number one. But it's what happens when you know, somebody owns 90% of the market and then gives all your rewards to insiders and exchanges, I guess.
All right, I gotta ask you a question here.
Yeah.
So after Ethereum merge, Ergo, you know, flying through the moon, blah blah. The details I don't care much about. What I would ask is, if it happens again, right? Bull run's coming. I mean, we never know what that next coin's going to be. Could be Ergo, could be whatever. What do you think we could do better as like Ergonauts to like make sure it goes smoother? Because I think the rewards was.
Oh, you're talking about the difficulty adjustment.
The difficulty adjustment was difficult. So, what do you think is either changed or we could do better for the next bull run?
Well, we got to start at Genesis, okay, to understand the story there, right? When Ergo launched, we had this thing called non-outsourceable puzzles, right? And basically what that meant is that everyone was forced to solo mine, right? You didn't have pooling. And what Autolycos is in Greek mythology is it's a thief, right? And so it was set up to where if you tried to pool your resources, you would expose your private key. And if you expose your private key, you know, somebody can steal all your money, right?
Is that really what that means? I never knew that.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
When Ergo first started, for the first year, everybody was solo mining, right? Then then we're building out these smart contracts and, you know, kind of having fun over there. And somebody realized, hey, we can bypass, you know, this forced solo mining with a smart contract to where we don't expose our keys. Then, you know, of course, there's a certain economic incentive to pool mine, right? Yeah. You know, because you get, you know, more consistent rewards faster, basically. When you're riding solo mine, you're riding luck, and, you know, good luck to you. But, you know, a lot of people like to get, you know, more consistent rewards, you know, kind of quicker, basically. But, you know, your power bill comes in once a month. If your solo block doesn't hit, ouch, right?
I've been there.
Yeah.
Terrible feeling.
You know, so I get it. So a lot of our governance mechanism and our network parameters were built under the assumption of solo mining, right? So we have Autolycos 2, which, you know, we had this internal conflict. A lot of miners were like, hey, we should fork because we can't compete with with these people that are using smart contracts as solo miners, and why can't we pool too? You know, so there was kind of a lot of, I don't know, internal, you know, discussions, and we said, all right, we'll, you know, basically give you guys the option to vote, and, you know, we'll propose a new instance where you can turn solo mining off. So our network, you know, difficulty adjustment never quite updated from the solo miner days, and it worked relatively well as a solo mining difficulty adjustment.
Yeah.
And, you know, then we get into pools, you know, which, you know, opens you up to, like, I don't know, a lot of people like Hive and, you know, easier ways to mine. You can connect, you know, like that, off you go on a new chain, right? When you're forced solo mining, you can't do that. You got to spin up a node and set up the config, and it did take a lot more work, in essence. Now, we rolled over, kind of a area where the price spiked and there was, some issues that showed up. And, unfortunately, we're a small team, right? And the actual guy who was the main architect of the original diff aspect of our system, was having health issues and he had left the team to focus on himself, right? So we're sitting there and I'm like, hey, we had internal discussions. We should, try to, adjust this. But we were also working on a couple of other, development paths in parallel. And, unfortunately, when we went over the merge, our diff adjustment really shit the bed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is what it is. You got to,
It is what it is. You're owning
It
it,
is
though.
what it is.
You know what I mean? You're owning it.
Yeah. So, I can honestly say there were discussions I tried to have where I was like, hey, why don't we take our existing diff adjustment and just compress the time, right? It'll adjust faster. If there's anything like that, we'll get over the hump faster. Coming out of the merge, when you have a huge group of miners that are pissed because there's a centralized entity that's basically fucking them, right? It's really hard to as be like, hey guys, I'm going to be a centralized entity and I want to fork the chain. So I'm like, I was asking a couple times, miners out there, look at this, what do you think? It didn't happen. Our current diff, it's not perfect, right? I can tell you because it's modeled after, me saying, hey, we should compress the current one and, balance it out a little bit. So there is actually an open grant that I've proposed anyway for somebody that wants to come in and engineer, something novel. But that's actually, that's a harder space than a lot of people realize. There's a lot of complexity there.
Let me pause you. Because this is important to me, right? Like, there's so many people that'll just talk about, Ergo this or other coins did bad. I like that you're presenting like a way like that people could reach out to you. So how could somebody, Timmy out there watching that has that skill set potentially try to help you guys?
We have a place called Ergo Forum, which is a website where a lot of development talk goes on. We have
Ergo Forum. Okay.
Yeah, we have Telegram channels. Like, come in and just make noise, right? Come into the Discord, make noise. I would love to see like an actual community-based solution, right? In my opinion, that's way more mature than looking to the foundation and saying, hey guys, fix it. Right? That's not really what we want as a decentralized ecosystem long term, is where everyone, looks to the guy at the top and says, hey, Vitalik, don't fork us away, right?
Yeah, true.
I mean, ideally, if we can create the right incentive, somebody out there can propose something. We could, unit test it, get it to the point where it looks solid, and let the miners vote. That's what the ecosystem is for.
I respect that. So is it ergoforum.org? That's what I just pasted.
Yeah.
Okay. So anybody out there thinks they can help, even just has feedback, wants to get involved, like check out ergoforum.org for sure.
Yeah, like actual decentralized systems are a bit messy, but that's because you have multiple people with multiple incentives, kind of working towards some common future, but also trying to, take as much power over it as they can. So I would love to see like minor governments mature. I'd love to see like an actual community solution instead of, looking to a small team, because we can't solve everything, right? A lot of our development, luckily, has been community driven. On the miner side, it's harder to get miners to engage, to be honest.
It is 100% because it's like, oh, this coin's popping off today. Let me shoot over here. And I'm guilty of this too. I'm not saying that I don't do this myself. And then, oh, look at this one, this coin, shiny thing. It's hard to get us voting.
No, I can understand. It's a business and everybody has bills, right? But at the end of the day, like long term, if miners want to rebuild the security subsidy of proof of work, there's one way to build value, and that's you have to continually decentralize an ecosystem. Like that's how Bitcoin became Bitcoin, right? Is it was continually decentralizing, growing, and you have like smaller actors that come in and more actors come in. So everybody kind of, I don't know, the crowd grows and like individual actors become less powerful.
Yeah. So Coinology says I would be engaged if you fix the difficulty so people will stop gaming it. But then I feel like you just addressed that, right? I feel
Yeah,
like you're aware
don't-
of
I
the
don't have to-
problem. Like they need help.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like listen, I'm not the greatest developer, to be honest, especially when it comes to that side. And I came up with the solution, right? People are like, hey, you know, what do you want to do? You know, okay, Alex did refine it a little bit. He added some, you know, like percentage change on the end to try to stabilize it. But it's something that I think our network would benefit from long term, having a better diff adjustment. The difficulty is people need to understand the attack vectors there. Like there's a ton of attack vectors in proof of work that, you know, everyone's like, hey, you know, make your chain go faster. And it's like, well, it does kind of open you up to potential attacks, right? You know, and I guess like on that side of like the, I don't know, blockchain space, it's kind of been buried by a lot of marketing. You know, like Ethereum could go fast because they could pay miners for uncle blocks, right? But when you can print with an unlimited cap, you can build all kinds of fun incentives. You know, if you do that in, you know, a chain where you can't really do that, you end up with a messier chain, right?
I caught an uncle block actually on Ethereum. I was solo mining Ethereum and caught an uncle block. I was so mad.
That's funny.
They just gypped me, give me like pennies.
Yeah.
Got a couple $1,000. They just give me a couple pennies, man.
It happened.
That's awesome.
No, honestly, I've asked like, hey, you know, we can put up a grant for that, but a lot of the times it's, I don't know, it's always easier to complain than contribute.
That's
I'd say
true.
that.
That's true in everything in life.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, you know, it's one thing that it's like, okay, well, if we had a solution that could be unit tested, guess what? You miners could do whatever you wanted. That's the point of having miner governance. You don't have to ask the foundation. You can basically do whatever you want. You already have tools built into the system to do that.
That is cool. So how would I do that? Like, I've never done anything like that. So let's say I want to fix something. Do I go to Ergo Community Forum and just like?
Let's talk about like what to do, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk in terms of block size, right? Because we have to deal with pools now because we have them. You would need the pool to update their config file that you're mining to, right? And if you get enough pools to update their config file just in one direction, it's programmed to where, you know, the network will recognize, hey, this parameter is being adjusted, and above a certain threshold, it'll just update.
Oh.
And so you could do that with block size. You can do that with costs. You know, we rolled into this era of storage rent, which I don't think we've still seen a pool that you know, engineered anything for that. It's unfortunate, but I guess there are some solo miners out there that are collecting rent.
Yeah.
But you know, we haven't seen a public facing tool yet, unfortunately, but they're there, right?
Okay, so I know we went from Autolycos, then Autolycos 2. That was really cool to know the history of it, by the way. I just found that really interesting.
Like, the original intent was, okay, if you force people to solo mine, everybody has to deal with this config file. So then you get this idea of like democratic governance where every miner can potentially, you know, update network parameters, get some kind of group consensus. If they clear a certain threshold, the network updates, right? Now, you know, we have pools, so it's a little bit more federated. And,
Yeah.
you know, I hate to say it, but pools are difficult to work with because most of them don't do anything.
Yeah, just need your money. So my question would be, in theory, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but like if I got together with Red Panda and everybody and I'm like, hey, we need Autolycos 3. In theory, if we could get enough people to vote, we could do that.
Yeah, like that's kind of the point of like forking a chain, right? It would require a hard fork. It'd be messy. But, you know, if GPU miners said, you know, okay, we see this ASIC or FPGA coming online and we don't want that, take power over the ecosystem. Like I fully support that. But that would require engagement. That would, you know, if you're going to engineer something, make sure that, you know, you test it properly and that, you know, you don't kind of, I don't know, launch a sinking ship, right?
Yeah.
But if I could see that level of engagement, I'd love it, because that's what decentralization should be.
Just the idea of it, even if it doesn't happen, I think is really interesting, because I can't, maybe it's just me being a noob, but I can't think of any other coins where we could all get together and vote on something and change this and be like, you know what? I want more block rewards. I want less block rewards.
Like
That's pretty cool.
You like, as miners, you could get together and you could say, hey, we're going to raise the, fee parameters. You could do that. I couldn't stop you. I'd say, hey, look, the miners are doing something. I'd be excited about it.
That's cool. That's cool.
But there's actually multiple inputs there. And the idea is, like, if you could get miners collectively to create some kind of group where they could say, okay, our input costs are going up, right? And we need to pass that on to consumers. That's how businesses operate. Like in blockchain, we have this idea of, let's forecast into the future and create this emission, there's no like supply side dynamic to it. It's like shoot an arrow into the future and guess and hope that every halving Bitcoin's going to go up, and that supply costs and computational costs and everything else is just going to work out. And, what we tried to do is kind of give miners more of a way to adjust, because, I'm sure you've seen your power bill go up in the last couple of years, right?
I sure have.
And, as a miner, how nice would it be if you could say, hey, I need a little bit more to cover these costs, right? That's like the idea of mining is, you cover your inputs.
Why are we not doing that?
I have no idea, man. It's so frustrating.
So, chat, why have we not just got together and said we need a little, what's the word from work when you get like a salary increase? A raise.
Right. You can raise fees. You can raise network adjustments. Now, you reach a point, right?
Yeah.
You reach a point like any business would. It's like, okay, so you can pass costs onto your consumer, but you also are in a larger market where you have to be competitive, right?
That's true. That's a good point.
So then you always have to kind of say, okay, well, what's that balance look like? The idea, hopefully, is one day we get to the point where miners start to look at their costs, look at other, competing products and say, okay, well, how can we, basically protect our revenue and remain, viable, competitive against other ecosystems?
That's a good point. We can't just think about us getting money, because then everything's more expensive.
Then you just eat all your pie, right? Like you have to say, okay, well, if you want to sustain something like long term, you need to be competitive.
That's fair,
right? And I would hope that over time, you get to this point where Ethereum had an amazing security function with the proof of work, right? Like the GPU miners there's just massive. How do you take down a network like that? Fork it to proof of stake. But anyway, that's
Ethereum. Killing me.
Yeah, no, but I would love to see that. I think that's where a lot of the value came from, right? Is like there was a certain assumption there for a while that, hey, this network is secure. It's not going anywhere. Look at the amount of actors and amount of miners that are contributing to work here. How do you break that? Yeah. Like I think, I'd love to see GPU proof of mining get back to that point.
Wait, so what would you say? It's not the right way. I'm trying to think how to word this. You'd like to see GPU miners get to that point. So what do you think is like the perfect GPU? I don't know if it's community. What is your ideal GPU community?
I think like Ergo itself, in terms of what's built on top of the chain, right? It needs to mature, and it is maturing. Like we're getting DeFi, we're getting a lot of development, which is awesome to see, right? At some point, I would hope that, like as a mining community, first we see best assumptions, right? Because that does matter. Like you can look at like Alphium right now, where there's basically a bunch of miners mining to one pool. That's sad to see, because Chang's building some cool stuff over there. I would love to see miners be like, hey, let's actually decentralize this and work towards the assumption that you can't break this network, right? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what miners do, is they provide network security, and then as a service, and then they get paid by the protocol, right?
Right.
So it's like, okay, if you want to build like collective security around something, you create something that hopefully builds to the point where it's unbreakable, right? And then it's just the question of like, well, what does that need to look like? In my opinion, I think one thing we can learn from Ethereum is you had a lot of like DeFi primitives that ended up subsidizing the security. Like, you know, you had MEV, which was awesome for a miner. If, you know, you hit the right block in the right pool.
Yes.
When, you know,
MEV.
people were getting paid. Yeah, people were getting paid. I'm not against that type of like subsidy for miners. So I think that having that, hopefully storage rent can build something in parallel and, you know, get to the point where there is additional rewards, right? We had this experiment with GitBlock. You know, unfortunately, you know, they wound down their pool, but, you know, a lot of the core development is actually still ongoing with this thing called Lethos. And then I asked the question, like, long term, how cool would it be to launch tokens via work, right? So, you know, you could use Ethereum as an example. You have like the Uniswap token and, you know, the Curve token and all of these things. What if you could, you know, use that as a way to subsidize security? And so like you could potentially mine a pool that paid you an equivalent amount of ERG in some token, right? That's potentially valuable. And then it's kind of like spec mining, but internal spec mining versus, you know, just chasing up the newest chain that spun up, right?
That's cool.
So I'd like to see, you know, just different potential economic vectors for miners. I think that's why Ethereum worked, is because you had the MEV vector, which, you know, it was paying people when, you know, it was paying miners. It was
some good money. Man.
Yeah. So, but that it didn't just happen, right?
Yeah.
Right. I would say that like the whole, you know, mining community around Ethereum, really built that network to where it was pretty much like how could you break that at that point? You know, like 51%ing that distributed set of miners would have been incredibly difficult. You know, and all the security incentive went away. So now miners, you know, they basically all got fired, went home with their tools, and have been competing against each other, you know, and it's kind of a race to the bottom, and it's rough to see.
It's rough times right now. It'll get better. Everything's going to get better.
No, GPU mining will be back, like one way or another. And to be honest, okay, Ethereum was dominant, but, you know, there for a period of time, having something dominant in leading markets and having like positive market conditions, there was a lot that was profitable. You know, so I hope that, you know, markets get back to that space where, you know, proof of work is, in my opinion, you know, a better Sybil resistance mechanism. It's a better distribution mechanism for tokens, coins potentially too. You know, there's a lot of benefits there that it's hard to compete with like easy money. And if I can just spin up a network or a project where I mint myself tokens and then I give them away and, you know, kind of buy my way in the market, it's actually very hard to compete with that on the proof of work side. And we've seen a lot of just VC nonsense come into the space that, you know, they'd launched day one, they're all over the place. So they greased all the exchanges, you know, they have their market making and advertising and some central thing behind it that's just pushing that product, and then they dump on retail.
I think FTX was on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Or was Crypto.com? I don't remember. It's like the highest you can possibly get for advertisement. It's out there. Yeah.
No, they were a shit show, you know, and everyone's like, oh, it's such a great exchange. And, you know, like the asks they were putting on projects was just asinine. Like, oh, you want to, you know, give us $1.5 million and, you know, make sure that you can make $25 million a day. You can list on FTX. And it's like, okay, well, we're trying to be a decentralized ecosystem. Who the hell's going to pay you for that, right? Yeah. And whoever did got rugged anyway. So I guess karma comes into play.
Yeah, man. So do you have any final thoughts? I want to say it's an honor to give you, or for you to give us this much time, man. That was a great explanation a minute ago.
No, listen, I think that as miners, that's usually who you represent, right? At some point, there needs to be we need to get back to the space as a collective where like the security around projects, whether it's one or a couple, gets to the point where they're unbreakable, right? And the truth is, if you want to expand that security subsidy, you have to act together as a collective to force exchanges to support GPU proof of work, because right now they're just getting paid by other bullshit. And unless you like work together as like an activist group, good luck.
Thank you. One more question. You can
Yeah.
say no comment, and I will not even be upset or judge you in any way.
Go for it.
Twitter.
What about Twitter?
Ergo Twitter.
Oh, the Ergo Twitter, man.
If you don't,
That's...
if it's
No,
something
no,
you
I'll,
can't talk about.
I'll tell you about it.
Yeah,
Why not?
really?
Why not? Why not?
Okay, awesome. Okay, let's hear this.
All right, so you have a history between Charles and Ethereum Classic, right? Charles put a bunch of money, hired about, I'm gonna say 6-7 developers to build a new core client to try to basically make it competitive, because it's kind of been, I'm gonna say, a bit stagnant. I think that's fair. Would you agree?
That's fair. I think that's fair.
That's fair.
It's fair.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So he put down a lot of money, tried to build out this ecosystem, and I guess at some point they had a divorce, and it's messy, right? And so I've told both Charles, I've told the Ethereum Classic crew, Mr. Bob Somerville, I don't have the papers to properly like litigate your divorce, right? I don't have the license for that. But as coming in, like looking at Ethereum Classic and saying, okay, you have a Grayscale fund that owns like 8.5% of your project. Grayscale, owns CoinDesk. That's one of the biggest media outlets in the space, right? You have huge influence and reach in terms of like who's invested in your project. Yeah. You have Bitmain. Like these are massive players. And if you can't figure out development with those type of partners, I'm not going to feel too bad saying, okay, well, let's promote an open source thing, right? Now, my original plan, like, I don't have the Twitter, so I never have had it. But my original plan was, why don't we try to create some kind of joint proof of work alliance, which is rough because proof of work projects love to shit on each other. But we do kind of have like a common goal, and that is miners need a subsidy. Right? 90% of it disappeared. And what if projects could get together, talk about the benefits of proof of work, and talk about all of the users that exchanges just fucked? And basically, they're now validating and taking your mining rewards, right? And miners basically rolled over and said, okay, well, we're going to spec mine and try to, make it work, instead of saying, hey, why don't you at least, try to force proof of work projects to the same market exposure so you can collectively rebuild it. Right? Like exchanges that are validating ETH straight took your rewards. There's no other way to put it. You can look at a lot of the major pools now that, are validating. A lot of it is just, it's enriching existing insiders in that community, exchanges. And that was miner money, right? I'm kind of shocked that miners aren't more pissed.
Maybe they don't know. Some probably do. Some probably do, but
maybe they don't know. Like, where did all the money you used to make when you were mining go?
Oh, God.
Well, who's running the ETH validators now, right?
Good question. That's a good question.
Because they just ran away with your rewards.
Damn.
Like, and right now, unfortunately, when you have a lot of shit that's just buying its way to market, this is what it is. WorldCoin. Super fun,
I saw that at Mining Disrupt. I didn't see it in person. I saw that they snuck in the KuCoin booth. I saw it on Twitter because I was at Mining Disrupt in Miami.
Of course, I would bet, I would put all kinds of money on the table that KuCoin probably has an allocation.
Dang.
That's kind of how the industry works, man. I hate to say it, but it's pay to play, and miners are getting played. No other way to put it. So I would love to see, my hope anyway, was that, we could create some kind of group to really talk to major players in the industry that just took all your mining rewards and saying, hey, you need to open markets because you just they jacked all your block rewards, buddy. I don't know how else to say it.
Damn.
You know, and
That's deep.
that's rough. That's
Yeah.
rough to do
Yeah.
in this space because you have a lot of internal conflicts and fighting. And you know, I floated it to Bob, and he's like, "Well, we have Bitmain, and we have, CoinDesk, and we have a Grayscale fund, so no, you're on my shit list." I was like, "All right, well, that's fine." But we still are waiting to get miners kind of collectively agitated because there are a lot of you out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't
There's a
think
lot.
people really. I don't think people really understand where their rewards went. And
Stole them.
sadly, who built a lot of Ethereum? I would say miners, who were the ones that kept the kind of like the genesis of DeFi moving. Miners, like, it's sad to see, but it is what it is.
Joseph, it's been a pleasure, man.
Yep.
Thank you. Seriously, thank you for meeting.
Yeah.
man.
So I
was
really,
awesome.
I really do hope that miners at some point get agitated enough to say, hey, if we collectively build as a user base, like miners have a huge ability to force what they want because they're loud, they're smart, and there's a ton of them, right?
Yeah.
And so I haven't seen that. I've seen a lot of infighting. I've seen a lot of, trying to hit the lottery with a new token and hope that something happens. And, like long term, I just don't know how sustainable that is. And
I'm guilty of spec mining.
There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that, right? Listen, Bitcoin started spec mining. Ergo started spec mining. Everybody does. There's nothing wrong with that. But, like long term, if we want to see like GPU miners actually rebuild the security subsidy, like that's going to take a collective effort because it took a collective effort for miners to really build Ethereum, right? There was a couple of, I don't know, I mined ETH way back in the day. There's a couple times where, it wasn't so profitable. But then there was this idea like, hey, if we bootstrap this ecosystem, we can get to the point where it's unstoppable and we can create something special. And, I think that Ethereum, aside from all of its internal design flaws in terms of its token standards and smart contract hacks and all of that stuff, I would say at one point it was pretty well on its way to doing that. Like, I don't think it would have been hard to break. And I hope that we get back to that because
Get back to it.
yeah, I mean, that's kind of what Bitcoin represents, right? Is this network that nobody can break.
That's true.
Very
true.
And if people are throwing all their hash rate at a pool that already has 90%, or Chang at Alphium, he's never going to be able to get the opportunity to, see if his network can, basically operate on that level, which he's building some cool stuff. There's a lot of projects that are building cool stuff out there.
I'd love to hear from them. I've tried to hit up, you say Alphium. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. I've been saying Alephium, but I've tried to reach out. If you can ever get me an interview, I'd love to speak to them. I don't know.
You want me to get Chang in here? I'll do it.
Yeah, I don't know any of their names, but like I've always tried to, because whether I don't like, I try to take my feelings out of it. I love to just hear from proof of work projects and what their viewpoint is, what they got going on.
He's a smart guy. He's got a good head. I think he's doing some interesting stuff with the new VM. Like,
cool.
There's a lot of interesting projects in the space, but
Yeah.
sometimes there's a lot of noise and nonsense, and maybe I contribute to that sometimes. I can't say that I'm innocent, right?
I do.
But
We all do. When money's down, people act crazy.
yeah. But I do think that long term, like all proof of work projects should want mining to be profitable.
Yeah.
Why would they not?
Of course.
That's pretty basic. So I would hope that, like, moving forward, that's the one thing. Like, you can fight as much as you want about whatever you want, but hopefully we get to the point where GPU mining is profitable again, because that's good for everybody.
One final thing. I'm sorry. This is random. What do you think's going to do better throughout the bull run? Dynex or Kaspa? I'm talking about making money. Timmy out there is watching. He needs cash.
Listen, I have to say that if I'm given a choice, I would go Kaspa, and the reason why is because having a proprietary algo is bullshit.
Okay.
Like that's
prediction.
unpopular, but you got to understand, like, I've never lied about my let's say a belief idea that if things are going to be public utilities, they need to be open source so we can audit them. And I think CASPA does a better job at that. It's true that I guess they have some archive drama, but hopefully they have the history laying around to patch that. And then back on the road. Now, in terms of like, net assumptions, they just got ASICs, and, how's, Bitmain going to do? Are they going to do them dirty and pre-mine and dump? And who knows, man? I don't know. But in terms of like a net project, like perspective, I would go with the one that's more open source, and CASPA's that.
Good answer. I think a lot of people are going to agree with you. A lot of people not. Hey, we'll find out.
Listen. If something is proprietary, how do you know what's even happening?
That's a good point. It's proprietary.
Like,
Believe us.
If I had a proprietary algo, how do you know you're getting a fair share? If you have a proprietary swap, how do you know you're really getting paid what you're owed, right? Or there's not some sandwich or some nonsense. You need to be able to see that, so you make sure there's no guy behind the curtain, playing with levers.
That's valid.
I hate to say that, but when I run into the word proprietary, my brain just turns off, man. I can't go there, because I understand like there's a potential to be attacked, and even if it's against anybody's bags, I'm sorry. I hope your bags take care of you, but
it's just your opinion. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, as a user, you really want to be able to see and verify that, and I would say, Dynex has some work to do there if they ever want me to care about the project.
Check out DeepMiner's pool. I'm not qualified enough to check it out. Check it out. Mm-hmm. They actually showed the jobs. Does it validate or not? I am not qualified enough. I know it just says I'm doing a job. So check that out sometime. And like maybe it's legit. Maybe it's not. I couldn't tell you. I don't feel qualified enough.
No, I'll look one
at
of these days.
Yeah, look at it.
Yeah, I'll try to take the time. And I know the CASPA community is probably mad at me right now because I was like, hey, there's got to be somewhere where all the archive data is, because I thought there was, right? They're like, oop, made some drama. Sorry about that. Hopefully you guys can patch it.
My man, I like this guy. All right, Joe. I'm gonna say farewell. Yo, thank you so much, dude. Awesome, dude. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm trying to kick you out. My bad. I haven't used this. Peace, dude. Okay. All right. We're gonna take the next caller in a minute, chat. Let me make sure my camera's on. What'd you guys think of that call? I thought that was awesome, man. I really enjoyed that. Like, listen, here's the thing. Agree, disagree, whatever, right? Doesn't matter. I thought that was really cool. Joe. That was my first time ever speaking to Joe, man. Joe, listen, chat. Like I said, whether you like Ergo, don't like Ergo, that's fine, right? He answered like every question. Could I have asked a little bit more? Yeah, sure, right? I'm not here to like harass people, right? Like, to be clear, I don't like harassing people. I'm not here to attack people. I just genuinely want to know. I'm not gonna lie. Joe got some respect for me, like some big time respect for me. I asked about Twitter, and he actually answered the question. That's crazy. Like, I thought for sure, and like I said, I wouldn't have judged him if he would have said no comment. I wouldn't even have thought bad of him. So the fact that he even answered that question, I thought that was really cool. Let me know if you guys respect it. I mean, I don't really care what other people think. On a personal level, thought that was really cool. That was really cool, man. He answered. I mean, and I asked him some hard questions, right? I asked Joe about, Ethereum merge. It didn't go well. He was 100% transparent about it. He was honest. Like, yeah, we know it didn't go well. We fucked it up. Completely respect that. Like, he answered both the big questions, at least for me. I don't know. Maybe you guys had more questions. I wasn't really trying to read too much chat, to be honest with you. What's up, hobbyist? What's up? I saw Warehouse in here as well. What's up, dude? If you ever want to call in, let me know. That was really cool, man. Dude, shout out to Joe. That was cool. Yeah, there's a lot of things I really like about Ergo, and I'm not gonna say I'm definitely not perfect. We all know I'm not perfect. But there's a lot of things about Ergo that I respect, man. Like, whether it works out or not, I don't know. But DJ, reach out anytime. People are happy to discuss real shit. Yeah, I appreciate that, CW. I've spoken to you a couple times on the stream. Ergo says, no, I'm not. Nice work. Yo, thanks, Obvious. You want to call in? Who wants to call in? Anybody want to call in? This is a viewer call-in, by the way, guys. I just wanted to set up a couple proof of work coins for you guys. But don't ever feel like it's limited to... Oh, shit. Hold on. It's never just limited. Let me turn my camera off. I gotta swap here. It's never limited to just proof of work coins. Like, you guys can call in, give your 2 cents. Now listen, if you haven't prearranged it with me, right? If you haven't prearranged it with me, I'm gonna limit you to 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. If anybody wants to call in, you have to have. Here's the rules. I haven't done this viewer call in quite some time, but the rules are, unless you've, unless you're like one of my YouTube friends or like just a friend of mine, you can co-host. I'm fine with that. Let's see. Taking more guests. Yeah, here you go. Here you go. Here's the thing, chat. If you disagree with Joe said, feel free to call in. Let us know. All that I ask is that you're respectful. Okay? There's nothing wrong with disagreeing with me or Joe or anybody in chat. All I ask is don't come in here to fucking cry. I don't want to hear your shit. But if you have a legit complaint and hopefully something, a way to be not beneficial, a way to benefit the conversation with like a proposal of how things could get better, I'm all for it. I'm always about it, man. Whether you and I disagree, I don't care about that, man. I care about having a good discussion. So totally cool. 130 viewers. What's going on, everybody? I don't like that you have to move Ergo or it expires. I actually didn't know about that. Maybe you could elaborate. I don't have anything to say, but I have this urge to call in. As long as you have a webcam. If you don't have a webcam, please don't call in. There's a couple exceptions here and there. DJ Minds, Fully Electric says, awesome call in. I still like Ergo. Wish the Ergo pools would not have any power. The miners need that control. I mean, you gotta have pools, right? I don't know. It's tough. Love you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Synthesia. Thanks for keeping it West Coast. I don't know what that means, Coinology. Yeah. Ergo Sigmanauts. Dave Fincheck. Storage rent is a great tool. Yeah, who wants to call in? There's the link. Call in, chat. Call in link. Must have webcam. Limited to 3 to 5 minutes per caller. Okay, 3 to 5 minutes. Oh, one more thing. No government talk. I don't want to talk about government. I don't want that stuff on my channel. I don't want politics on my channel. I'm not into that. Oh, my boy, Hobbyist.
Just hanging out here in the lobby, chilling all by myself,
Oh, shout out to my boy, the Hobbyist Miner chat. What's up, dude?
First time caller, long time listener, tuning in to DJ Minds. What's up, dude?
I almost wore your shirt today, the gun one, but I thought to myself, didn't I just wear that on the last one?
You just wore it the other day.
Yeah.
I tuned in. I was like, damn, that's my boy right there. That was the last one. You got the last one.
Did I really?
Like ever made. Yep, that was the last one.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, absolutely. So how we doing here tonight? You got a nice crowd hanging out.
Yeah, man, I'm doing amazing. Yeah, everybody knows Hobbyist Miner. If you don't know Hobbyist Miner, please do check him out.
No one knows me. No one knows me.
Oh, they know you.
Good. Good. Get the hell out
yeah,
of here.
I had Ergo on. I'm going to be honest with you. Usually when I have guests on, like especially Coins, I limit them to 15. But I really liked the engagement between Joe and I. So I think we went on for like 45 minutes. It was awesome. And he answered all the hard questions, which is cool.
Yeah, I've sat down with Joe a few times there. Ergo is always a hard project to wrap your head around a little bit because like we're so used to just like a group of people or developers managing things, and the fact that Ergo gets a lot of their direction, it's all community voted, is such a weird mechanic with Ergo because we all are like, this should be changed, and their response is very consistent of like, well, we have to see what the community votes, and it's always like it's so different than what we're used to. But yeah, Ergo's been quiet, at least amongst GPU miners. I feel like it's been a quiet project recently. I haven't heard the word Ergo come up in quite some time at all.
I think Ergo's going to make a comeback in the bull run, bro. I'm not saying it's going to be the #1 coin. I think it's going to have a nice rally for sure.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'll take it 100%. As of just, I mean, I have one rig still left on it, just running, just stacking it. I mean, absolutely. I think it's the smart play to go. So back from Miami, you kind of coming off that high now and try to getting your feet wet now, coming back from Mining Disrupt?
Dude, work has been insane. I wish I could talk about it. Oh, it has been insane. Dude, I was gone for what, a week?
Yeah.
And oh my God, all of work has just done a 180 and they expect me to like know what happened while we were gone. And then it's almost like they try to give you anybody ever take a vacation for like a week or two or even a month? And they're like, it's because you weren't here. Oh, I forgot. You took vacation. And it's like,
How dare you?
dare
Shame.
you? Like, yeah.
Yep.
But
When I'm on vacation, I actually put in about an hour every day into work just to keep up with like emails and communications and stuff. And it's fine. You know what? It's fine because when I come back, it's so easy. It's like an easy transition in versus like piecing out for a week and then coming back and then hating your life for like 3 days. Like that sounds like that's what you're going through right now.
that's what I'm going through. But I like it this way. I mean, listen, when I'm on vacation, when I'm at work, I work my butt off. When I'm on vacation, it's vacation. All right? You ain't getting nothing out of me. So what's new with you, man?
Not a ton. I don't want to talk a ton about shed stuff because I feel like that's all I talk about. But I've been busting my ass working on this shed, ready to get this thing back up and running or get it running. I got the floor ordered, like the epoxy floor. So I'm gonna be epoxying the floor with like that gray with the white and blue flakes
Okay.
of the shed, and then do a clear coat on top. And I got the rack ordered too. So yeah, I mean we're moving along good. I mean, I told my electrician, I'm like, dude, I'm not waiting for you. I said I'm gonna get everything else done, and then I'm waiting for you to kind of come up the rear and take care of the electrical. So yeah, I'm hyped. I am hyped to get. I cannot wait to get everything I own mining. Everything I own mining. I can't wait.
That's awesome, man. So I know there's a meme going around for me. People love to say I never get power. For those who don't know, I feel like I've said this. I actually have power now to the shed.
Yeah, I remember that. Like it was like a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago. It took them, and you know what's crazy? People were talking shit about me like I'm the electrical company. Like, oh imagine not having power to the shed. Like, yeah, imagine not working for the power company and not being able to connect my power. Like
it was an empty. It was like an empty abandoned lot that had this old shack on it, and like it didn't have power. Like, how dare you put power on here? You know?
How dare you?
Which is great.
And
how
it's
much
funny,
electricity? Yeah, bacon, eggs, and hash has how much electricity? In that shed, both sheds 150 amps. They both mirror each other, 150 amps each.
Nice, dude. Yeah. I have 200, but it took them one year and a half, bro. Like, imagine this, right? Like on a not light pole, electric like line. There's mine, which the electrician did a long time ago, and then like this far away is the company, and all they had to do was connect the two. It took a year and a half for them to just go. Bloop.
Can you imagine if it took you that long for your job to do those things? Like come on, like that's unbelievable. I mean, what if that was someone's house? What if that was someone building a house there? Yeah, and it was like, yeah, it'll take us a year and a half to get you electric. It's like, what the
crazy?
Oh,
every excuse under the sun.
That's crazy. So how's your rigs coming up? I saw your video the other day or maybe it was a short getting Dynex rigs back up and running. You running everything? You're running some? What do you got going on?
I'm at 385 on Dynex right now.
Okay.
So that used to be like almost 800, but they cut everything in half.
Correct. Yeah, there was adjustments to the hash rate and everything with the yeah.
I don't have everything on just yet because this is my first day, or tomorrow's gonna be my first day off. So it's just been like after work, I'll turn on 3-4 rigs, and then I'm trying to move stuff. And thankfully, it's not hot here at all, dude. I have
dude, it's been beautiful weather. It's been 70s. Yeah, recently it's been
70s here. It's been crazy. This is our summer 70s. I think we got 80 the other day, but I have 12,000 watts right now running in the garage. I'm actually solo mining, which is
I heard that.
crazy.
I heard that. I was like, whoa, this guy's got some big balls right here.
But do you know what the block size is? I probably shouldn't even be telling people this. You know how much you get paid, right now, bro? You get paid $500 to $600 if you hit a block.
Wow,
it's insane. But you got to understand.
I was looking on Deep Miner's pool.
Yeah.
And you can go under there now and look at the projects and the current project running right now. If you solve that, or if it you finish that project or whatever, the reward 100,000 Dynex. Can you imagine if you're that guy? Can you imagine if you're that guy?
Oh my God.
I mean,
that's almost $100,000 right now.
Yeah, it literally I just saw it was 97 cents, whatever.
Yeah,
more
I think
recently.
it's 80 something now. Yeah.
Yeah, 93, because I just recorded a video on it. But I'll be honest with everybody in chat. DJ got me hooked into Dynex, like you did. Just like based off our trip to Miami, and you're like, guys, Dynex 80 cents, Dynex 88, like just keeping us like it's coming, it's coming.
Man.
Oh, unbelievable, honestly, like crazy.
It was,
yeah, I get it,
dude. Dynex, when I got into it, I think it was like 17 cents. And then I just kept mining it, and then I had the first video release, and then actually, technically, Son of a Tech filmed first, but he didn't release it.
6 months ago. I saw he had a video 6 months ago, and then you had a video
really?
3 months ago.
Oh, okay. If it's 6 months, then he beat me to it. But
in my video, I record. I'm not going to sit here and like promote myself, but in the video I record, I went back. I tried to find the oldest video in the community of talking about Dynex and like how to mine it, and there was like Dynex, I guess, is some type of construction material. And so that's all I found. And then the first one I found was like 6 months ago was Son of a Tech. And it was how to mine Dynex coin is what it's called or something like that. And then you were shortly after that.
I'm sorry.
Like,
I meant interview.
More content.
Interviewing Dynex.
Oh, interview. Oh, yeah. No, you did. Yeah. You had the 3-month interview, and I think you had one like a month ago too.
Yeah.
You had like 2.
They're doing some crazy shit in just like the 2 or 3 months that I talked to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Let me talk about NiceHash real quick. I'm not sponsored by NiceHash. Full disclosure. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. Let me see. I'm trying to log in.
You're talking about your D9?
My D9 has been crazy, and I just had my K7 swapped like an hour before this stream just to see if it's paying. Anybody in chat using NiceHash on their ASIC, dude? I'm trying to get my S19 XP over. I don't expect the Bitcoin one to pay crazy, probably like 10% more, but that's still it's still a lot of money.
Not like what you're seeing with the D9 where you had a crazy run up on that. That was like an anomaly. Like
I had a $50 day, dude, in Bitcoin. Got paid out of my wallet. $50.
Yeah, with the D9. Insane. Oh, that's crazy. You once had one heck of a buyer, like the gambler or the people that bid on the hash rate, which is really, really nice. I know I watched Mining King's video earlier today, and he had a video talking about NiceHash versus like traditional pool mining with his 2 miners, and he was seeing 10% on Bitcoin mining, which is phenomenal.
That's massive. That's like, and I like the Bitcoin because like I already have a lot of Nervos. I got like 500,000. I'm good on that. I think.
Good for you.
Run, that's good to hold. That's a huge bag. I don't even need that much. And then Dash.
Yeah.
I got a good bit of Dash.
Yeah.
Good bit of Dash.
It's good. Like, good to hold it.
Let's get some Bitcoin now. You know what I mean? Let's get some Bitcoin. Let's get ready for that.
So I thought it'd be fun. Why don't we here's a question for chat.
Okay.
So for chat, post a question that you want DJ and I both to answer.
Ooh.
So we both have to answer a question at DJ or myself, and we'll take a few questions that we both have to answer.
Ooh. I look forward to this.
No holding back. No holding back, people. No holding back.
While we're waiting, King's been talking about, I think, the Vast thing. He said it's really
popular.
Yeah,
with Vast.ai renting out that rig that he has. That's awesome. Like, good for you.
Hell yeah.
How is that? I'm curious for King. How I haven't looked into it, how that pays out. Like, how do they pay you out for that? Is it in like crypto? Is it in like I'm not 100% like super confident with my knowledge on Vast.
Good question.
Nice, Hawk. All right, let DJ go first.
Okay. Which booth at Disrupt has the best? Okay. I can't answer.
That was the what was the one? Was it was it Jason? Was that the name of it? What was that booth? The big white one with the yellow carpet.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. They had great TVs, great televisions,
great
the carpet, the couch, the display of their booth was amazing.
Front and the back looked really, really good of those televisions. I'll tell you what.
Oh, there's too many people watching.
Let's see here. Okay. Are you still mining Radiant in any way? Do you have any Radiant?
No, I did it. I did it for like a month. I always get Nexa and Radiant mixed up.
JS-Bit, yeah.
Didn't have a lot of power. One of them used so much power. Is it Radiant?
Yeah. Radiant's not terrible. I was running Radiant on my M2, my Molt Miner M2, that FPGA. I was mining it to Trade Ogre, and then about once a week I'd log in and convert it to Bitcoin. I wasn't holding it. I wasn't stacking it. I mean, I don't hold any of it right now. I just once a week convert it to Bitcoin. I was just using it as a go-between, but more recently swapped it to Caspa with Caspa popping off again.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah. Caspa and Dynex.
Caspa's
dynamic
going to be
duo
hard
now.
to keep moving, man. It's
Yeah,
almost at $1
the
billion
momentum.
of market
Yep.
cap. $1 billion. Like,
Isn't that nuts?
it's going to be
isn't that nuts?
very
Like, just-
difficult.
Yeah.
It's a top 50 coin now. So, right? Like the days of, and I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong because I own Caspa, right? But the days of like
Yeah.
these 10Xs coming, it's gonna take a lot to move that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Dynex and Caspa have this great upward momentum right now. And I don't know, like you kind of ride that wave as long as you can. But like, as you and I have talked about many times, like take those profits when you can, because you really don't know when it's going to fall off. It could fall off at any opportunity.
I did take some profits on Dynex at I want to say
Smart.
it was like 82, 83. Now it's at 93, but I wasn't
Yeah.
all of it. But I was just like, dude, I mean, if you look at the chart, and I like Dynex, and I'm still mining it, like I said, full disclosure, it's like this, dude. It's like this,
Yeah.
like a straight line.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, dude, I held from 17 cents almost to $1. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
That's good for you.
yeah,
Good
like
for
I'm
you.
up hundreds of percent. Like I have to take some off the table or I'm going to feel like an idiot. Just like with Ethereum when
Yeah.
the thing was $4,000, right? And I just wrote it down to the bottom and I'm like, okay, let me get some money going. Yeah.
I love hearing like people that get in on these projects like super, super early and actually hold it and then sell it like an opportunity now. And that's like life-changing money for them. Like I love hearing those stories
That's awesome.
when they're like, oh yeah, I've mined it for the last 12 months and it wasn't worth anything. And now it's $500,000. And it's like, wow, like good for you. Like I love hearing those stories.
Yeah, man. Second TL question. Are we selling what we mine to pay for electric or hodl? You go first.
I have not sold any crypto in 2023. So I have hodled everything that I've mined in 2023. And I've been paying out of pocket my electric bill in order to stack as much crypto as I can before the next bull run. So
I'm
very
almost the
expensive.
same.
Very expensive. I don't recommend it. Especially, based off of, the current recession and the economy and stuff. But yeah, it's expensive, but my wife and I are hoping it pays off for us.
It will, man. Yeah. Like I said, I sold a little bit of Dynex. Just I don't count Render because that's not like a coin or a mineable coin. So other than that,
Yeah.
hodl. Been hodling.
Yeah.
Hodling. I was hodling everything until that hack last year that got stolen from me. So that was fun. But
Oh,
ever
it's always
since-
so painful to hear about that.
It's-
It's always so painful.
It's worth like 37,000 right now or something.
Oh, don't say it. No, it's
God,
gone.
It's fucking terrible,
All right,
bro.
change the topic here from Pocket Change. What was your least favorite thing at Mining Disrupt? Least
Ooh.
favorite thing. You go first. Impulse, just go. What do you got?
I have to think because it was so fun. Least favorite thing. I'd say the Bitcoin maxis. It wasn't to be clear, it wasn't nearly as bad as BTC 2022.
Yeah.
It wasn't that level, but I just thought that I was going to see more miners, like GPU miners and just CPU miner and just people spec mining and stuff. And
Yep.
there was a couple, but it wasn't that many. It was mostly Bitcoin.
Yeah. I mean, I could see where you're coming from on that. A majority of the vendors there were like Bitcoin related or cooling related or OS platforms or things like that. Flux was the only like project that had like its own like standout booth and stuff like that, but you didn't have any of these other ones there. I think for me, my least favorite was, I think I hoped for more community members there versus it was very much like it had a lot of B2B, business to business, there between the vendors and stuff like that. And I think I feel like our circles of people were like the majority of community members there. And then there were a few outliers here and there. I mean, I had a few people walk up to me and were like, introduce themselves and then, watch your content, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, awesome. Like, who did you come here with? And they're like, I'm here by myself. And I want to be like, good for you. Like, you came all the way down to Miami by yourself because you're passionate about mining. But I feel like there weren't as many people in that situation, like community members that came. Now, hopefully next year that changes because I think we had enough content creators there this year putting spotlight on the event to kind of help promote it for next year. I think that'd be awesome.
I think that's a really good point. Like, like almost everybody I talked to, unless I knew them from YouTube, was like they're a hosting facility. They sell, they're a reseller, which is cool. I like meeting them people. But yeah, there's very few like I'm here for the convention kind of people, and I guess that comes with the bear market, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Hawk for the $10. I didn't even read it. I'm so sorry. Let me.
Don't read it. No,
I have to read it.
What are you doing, Hawk? What are you doing, Hawk?
Great camera.
Keep
He
your
loves
$10.
this camera, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's big
you know what?
PPN,
Tell Hawk you'll rent it to him.
You can
Be
see
like,
the
"Yo, rent it
sweat
to you,"
on my
you know?
forehead and the wrinkle. Look at that. Look at that.
Dude, I thought my ZV-1 looked good, and then I'm sitting next to this guy now, and I'm like, damn, I'm like, little toddler training wheels versus this camera. But I think my favorite. Okay, I'm gonna turn that question a little bit. Favorite person who introduced themselves to you at the event. Who comes to mind instantly when like
Andy?
Who stands out?
The YouTuber
Andy?
or
Okay.
like non-YouTuber?
Just anybody who you got to meet one-on-one who introduced themselves to you.
Your friend Andy, for sure.
Okay.
Because like I have 11,000 subs, so small fry. He's a multi-millionaire, very humble. This guy's incredibly humble about his wealth, by the way. Chat.
Very
I
much
bet he's
so,
worth
yeah.
a lot more than he puts off, which he doesn't put it off. But and he did a nice interview with me, but it was more of the off-camera stuff that I saw from your friend Andy. He talked to the veteran miner. The veteran miner's like, I think it was 2,000 subs, he said, or 3,000, whatever it was. And he didn't go, ugh, or like anything. He talked to him. I saw him like talk to him. He'll talk to you for 30 minutes. He'll, Geek of all trades is like, hey, I'm a small YouTuber, blah, blah, you got any advice? Talk to him, and he was next to me, and
That's
give him
awesome.
He'll
That's
talk to you
awesome.
whether you got 5 subs or 100,000, doesn't care about that. And that means a lot to me because I like to think I'm like that as well. Like, I don't really give a shit about your sub count or anything. I mean, of course, you're going to be starstruck a little bit when you see somebody with all these subs, right? But
Sure,
at the end of the day,
100%.
treats people like humans. And like I said, I got so much advice from him financially, YouTube, looked through some of my videos for me, titles like this and that, and he didn't have to do any of that, and he gave me so much of his time for free with no benefit. I do not benefit your friend Andy at all. He has nothing to gain from me. And so that was really cool for me. That's cool.
Awesome.
What about you?
For me, it was I think it was the second day of the event. There was an older black guy came up to me, stopped me. Hey, you're the hobbyist miner. I was like, yeah, how's it going? I love chatting with people, hearing their story. It was an older guy. He's probably in his 60s, with older black guy, beard. I don't know if you saw him, and his wife. And his wife was like walking around holding all the swag as he's like cruising around. And I stopped and I got the opportunity to chat with them for almost 30 minutes. And it was awesome. And he was like, I watch your channel. I love all the content from the YouTubers, blah, blah. And he was talking about how he has a shed. He built a shed because he watched one of my videos, and he's outgrown the shed to the point now where like him and his wife are considering moving. That's how on board she is. They're like, we're thinking about moving to a property and building a building on a property. And they're in their 60s, and they're like miners just like you and I, like looking to expand. Like they were asking me about hosting companies. I tried to get them and Terra Hosting hooked up, but I was like, this is awesome to hear like a guy that watches our content in his 60s, his wife's on board. They're kind of like a dynamic duo going into it. It was so humbling to hear like how passionate this guy was. And he was just name dropping like all the different people in our community. And I was like, right there. Like when I think of like the best moment of that event was right there. Just listening to someone as excited as I am about it. That was really cool.
That's a beautiful thing, man. My wife,
yeah, it was cool. She's
supportive in a way, but like, she doesn't care what I do, kind of thing. Like, oh, you want to go buy a bunch of mining rigs? Yeah, I don't go. I never have to ask her. Not that I would, anyways. But like, yeah, she don't give a shit. Yeah, oh, I want to go buy a house. Yeah, go buy a house. You want to buy 3 properties for mining? Yeah, who gives a shit? Have fun.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I always
That's
envy like
awesome.
Chump Change because his wife will like be on the stream. And,
I was like directly engaged. Yeah, like
directly,
Yep.
and I'm like, you want to come in the chat? And she's like, no, not at all. My wife's like super girly girl, bro. High heels, makeup. She's interested in like the new mascara. Yeah, like complete opposite.
DJ's like, no.
But I like it like that, man. I do the man thing. She does the girl thing. Hash It Out says, DJ Mines, the hobbyist miner. How can miners rally both pools and exchanges to demand open market access listings for proof of work coins? Money.
Well, that's a challenge. Yeah, so that's definitely, yeah, exactly. So you have like
Money.
money makers in there that will pretty much pay for a coin to get put on an exchange. That's a huge challenge. I know like the Flux team had no interest for a very long time for paying to be put on an exchange, because the exchange makes out. Like, you know, how much effort really does an exchange have to put in to go ahead and get a project on there? Like at this point, they're most likely like very much bolt on with a few adjustments and stuff like that. But what exchanges do is they go, oh, you're the DJ Mines coin, right? Like, yeah, we'll bring, like, you know, you want to come on our platform, we're going to charge you X. And it's never cheap, never cheap. Unless you have like, great example, look at like Shiba Inu when it first came out. Like Coinbase jumped on that, and like and other ones jumped on that in like 2 seconds, because it was there were such high transactions with people buying and selling. Coinbase was like, I want a piece of that pie. Let's go. So they'll just instantly turn it around in like a day versus these other ones there. So unfortunately, as DJ said, it's all driven by money.
It's, well, I mean, even I think that way, you know, like when a new coin's popping off, oh, how much? When a new miner comes up, I'm looking, like if it's a 15-minute video, I'm like, click. Oh, money. There we go. Like, who's guilty of that in chat? Like, go straight to money. I want to know money. Tell me how much we're making. Then I'll rewind. If the money's good, now I want to hear what you have to say. If the money ain't good, next. So like, that's the language. That's the language that miners speak,
It's
right?
true.
Money.
It's true.
How much are we gonna make?
It's true.
Tell me how to make $1. So I don't know. It's
I
tough.
get it.
That's tough, man. That's so tough. What's your portfolio? Okay, what's your portfolio tracker app to keep up with all the taxes and wallets and all that? Mine is CoinStats. That's way too fast.
For well, it depends. Like, it depends what I'm looking at for, like, when I'm talking like taxes, I use cointracking.io. They're a good one that I've really enjoyed. But when I'm looking at just like portfolio positions and stuff like that, I actually use CoinGecko. I set up an account on there and profile on there, and have that up to date on there to look at like portfolio positions and stuff. But I try not to bother with the tax stuff until it's actually needed. I don't actively keep on that until it's like crunch time towards the end of the year.
Okay, I use Coinly.
Yeah. Yep, I've heard great success with Coinly. Yeah,
That's about it. Mining King says any AI rigs coming online 15 times more profitable than traditional mining.
I mean, I have the one that I'd like to get up and running for either AI with Vast or with proof of useful work type of stuff. I'm just slow to get to it. You know, it's just a little bit at a time. That's that one that I have with like the dual CPU sockets and the 128 gigabytes of memory, stuff like that. I just got to get that done. I really do. That's just one of those ones. Are you building anything right now, or no, you're not bothering?
So when Flux announced proof of useful work and I found out you had to like make all this stuff, I was planning to, but then Dynex is doing proof of useful work and you don't have to do anything. You can literally use the same B250, H110. You can use the exact same hardware. So I'm kind of like, I'm already kind of doing that without spending any money and just making a shitload of money. So it's like, the money's there.
The barrier
already.
to entry,
It's free.
The barrier to entry is very, like, it's minimal for us GPU miners. It's literally like there's no hardware entry for Dynex. You can use what you got, which is I think what is so appealing. I could see, you know, when Flux releases theirs, and if the rewards are so fruitful, then it'd be like a no-brainer. It'd be like, all right, I'm building rigs, because if it is that profitable, I'm all for it. But if it's not as profitable, I think it's really going to be a challenge, where it's going to be like, wait, I got to spend X amount of money to build a rig, but the rewards for proof of useful work aren't high. I think that's really going to be a hard one for us.
I think since we're in the bear market, and this might sound like the opposite of what I would usually preach, I have so many GPUs already offline. Like, I have almost 200 graphics cards. Right now I have like 120 on. I still have like 80 that are turned off. And I still have multiple Octominers that don't even have GPUs in them right now. I have rigs sitting around the house still not online. So it's hard for me to justify going out and spending more money when I already have $30,000, $40,000 worth of equipment not doing anything. For me, it's tough because I already have so much that I'm not using. I can't justify spending thousands of dollars.
It's hard to put in additional capital when you already have all that equipment sitting there. I
Yeah.
get it. 100%. Do you make more money with mining or YouTube?
For me at my electric rate, definitely YouTube. I actually until recently with Dynex, I'm making actually a couple pennies, surprisingly, at 16 cents, which I
Yeah,
don't really care
I
about.
couldn't believe that.
I want the
couldn't
yield.
believe that.
I don't really care, but it is something people care about. So yeah, for my electric rate, it's always gonna be YouTube, I think. You?
I make more on YouTube than I do with mining right now, but I'm very fortunate with a lot of the brand partnerships that I have, and with my viewership and subscribers and stuff. So I do well there. But the mining side, I mean, for me, as I said before, I'm stacking everything, and I think I'm finally to the point where like my Bitcoin wallet is like I'm loving it, man. Multiple deposits a day into that Bitcoin wallet is the coolest thing in the world, to be like finally just like, you know,
Heck yeah.
checking it. Yep. It's a great feeling to log into that and be like, wow, that's all Bitcoin. So I've been pretty heavy on Bitcoin, I'd say, over the last 3 to 4 months. And I really wish I would have done it longer.
Whoever it was, I saw your call. I was about to take your call. If you want to call back in, I feel bad. I was just waiting for like a pause.
Oh
moment.
yeah, they
He's
call
gone.
back in, kick my ass.
No,
out.
you
It's
can
fine.
stay. You can stay. You can take the call with me. I don't know who it was, but sorry about that, whoever that
Okay.
was.
There you go.
What's the other questions? Let's go, chat.
Bacon, how long did it take you to get your channel monetized? So I can speak to that first. I was insanely fortunate. So like I started February 21. My first video was the 5th of February of 21, and 21, 20, 20. I don't remember. And I was super fortunate. It was like the bull run, like Dogecoin was taking off. You could plug in anything. And excuse me, I was super fortunate, and this is not normal. So I don't want to like give inspiration because it's very difficult right now. There's not that many people interested in consuming crypto content on YouTube. I hit 5,000 subs in 3 months. So like I hit 1,000 subs in no time, like
Yeah.
2 weeks,
Nice,
which was
nice.
pure insanity. Like if you go back and look at my first few videos, they still only had it. They had like a couple hundred views. It's hard to get 100 views as a first-time YouTuber on a video. Like, but people were consuming so much content
Yeah.
at that time that like now, if I was to release that exact same content time period, I would get like 10 views on a video versus then. So it was nuts how quickly I grew in the first 3 months. Like, and you know, don't chase monetization. It'll come. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to push people like, hey, follow my channel, you know, doing giveaways, give me more subs, because at the end of the day, like you could falsely inject subscribers onto your channel and then no one watches your content. You want people to want to subscribe to your content. So yeah, just my thoughts on monetization. What about you? What do yours look like?
What was the question?
How long did it take you to get monetized on YouTube?
Probably like a couple weeks to maybe a month at max. Because it was at the end of the bull run, so there were still so many people. Many people checking out mining. You could get to 3K like it was nothing. 5K like pretty easy if you just do a couple months. So it's still good. I think my first video was like September 21, but it was just one video. I took like a month off. But it was so easy to grow back then. You know, like if you could just look at the Google Trends, there's millions of people interested. Now there's like 15K total. Like
yeah, I mean,
so.
yeah, I mean, if you any of the content creators that have been creating content over the last few years, like they'll tell you like views now versus then. It's like most of us are down 90%.
Oh yeah,
in views.
easily.
I know I hear Panda say it all the time too, and it's like it absolutely is. There's just not the interest there. It's not like anyone's doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Crypto is not buzzy. Crypto is not as profitable. You can't plug in anything and make money. It's not, you know, it is not. I mean, literally, we went from like interest this big and exploding to like that big. Like the community is so small right now for those consuming content.
Yeah, and then like not that my other YouTube channel was big or anything, but I kind of had an idea of how YouTube works already coming into DJ Minds because of DJ Waters 22, and it's like when I first started DJ Waters 22, I would make content that I wanted to make. And then that's like the worst thing ever you can do. Now, I mean, it's good. It's good if you're trying to make a channel for yourself, right? Like if you're just trying to document your story, totally cool.
Yep.
But then I already knew for DJ Minds, like, okay, what are people interested in? Because if your goal is to grow, it just depends. Like if your goal is not to grow, then don't make content for people. But people are here to watch something they're interested in. So I'm just like, okay, I like the crypto space. What are people looking for? You know, it was as simple as that. I gave them what they wanted, kind of deal. So
yeah, YouTube, man. YouTube is I throw it next to like rocket science. Like it is very difficult. You find things that work, you find things that don't work. It's a massive learning experience. I try to tell people too, like YouTube is not for everybody. Not everybody, you know, is a good fit for YouTube for content. Everybody likes to consume different types of content that's out there. Different people, you know, you got to lean into your strengths, especially on YouTube. Like, hey, what do you do well versus is that like, you know, like example for you, you are a phenomenal host for like live streams. Like I love it. Like lots of energy,
appreciate
you know, like that is more your strength. You know what I mean? Like that's definitely more your strength versus you like prepping this like big video and editing and all this stuff. Like that's not your strength. Your strength is talking. Like it absolutely is. So I get it.
Oh, I was supposed to get this caller. Is it Dave? Oh, Dave, what's up, man? Oh, you've called in before.
Hey guys, hey Hobbyist, hey DJ, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, dude? You've called in before. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I called in as Blast Mining last time. My real name is Dave. That's my little mining website. Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Awesome, man.
Doing good.
How you doing? What do you want to talk
about?
Good.
I got 3 E9 Pros online, so I'm looking into
good for you.
A new Jazz Miner too. I'm thinking about getting the X16Q.
Cute. Yeah, that thing looks
sick. Your E9. So your E9 Pros, are you mining direct Ethereum Classic and getting paid out Ethereum Classic?
Yeah, the 2 miners Ethereum Classic. Yeah, the Nights Hatch said it was less than what I'm making on the 2 miners.
Okay, gotcha. I wasn't sure. I've used the E9 on other platforms to convert and things like that. So I wasn't sure if you were doing that or stacking any other coins with it.
I've been triple mining, but I'm going to switch to Dynex. I just left my New Jersey home and I'm in my Colorado home now.
What were you triple mining?
Zilliqa, Caspa, and Ergo. But I was getting paid out.
I was doing that
Ergo and Bitcoin on 2 miners.
I was doing that combo. I love that combo. But then the ASICs, man, they just took over Caspa and the yield just
ruin everything. Dang them.
Even though I have
them. But I hate them sometimes. Sometimes when they take away my Caspa.
Yeah.
But I do love my ASICs.
I get it. So you're looking at the Jazz. So you're looking at the Jazz Miner as your next purchase?
I'm thinking about it. I'm not positive yet. I like Bitmain because I think they might be more reliable than some of the newer companies. I'm not positive on that. That's just a hunch I have. I could be wrong.
Jazz Miner is a good choice. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've had my 2 Jazz Miners running the last few years. Never had any issues with them. I actually saw earlier when I was doing the dishes tonight, I saw Chump Change had unboxed and was setting up his X16Q.
Yeah, I was on that stream for a little too.
Yeah. So I was following that along.
He put his mic up. Well, we saw one live in person, but he put his mic up to the thing. Couldn't even hear a sound.
Yeah, I like the Jazz Miners for their versatility for putting them on different platforms for converting them. If it's like if you're if something like Nice Hash or Mineable or these other ones, like having that versatility is awesome. Like on Mineable has been really cool to be able to do those types of things on to stack coins because they have such high hash rate for Ethereum Classic. That's like, wow, it's a great way to build these additional bags. Like great way for spec mine. Like, dude, as soon as I started like looking into getting into Dynex, like mining it more, I was like, all right, can I go to Unmineable and just put all these Ethereum Classic ones on it? Unfortunately, Unmineable doesn't have Dynex, which is such a shame. I actually reached out to them, Ren from Unmineable, and I guess he said because there aren't as many exchanges, which he's right. Newer coin, there's not as many exchanges supporting Dynex right now, so they're kind of limited. So I think they Unmineable uses a handful of different exchanges on the back end to flip these things, and Dynex just doesn't have a lot right now. So I was like, man, I can't wait for them to do that because it'll be awesome to be able to stack that with things like Jazz Miners or
yeah, they have Caspa though, right?
Yeah, they do. Yep,
that's an idea. I might put one of my E9 Pros on Casper or something.
Didn't they just get a new exchange today?
Who's that? Unmineable?
No, not Unmineable. Caspa.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Dave, tell me your final thoughts.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have
I'll
any.
ask you a question.
I enjoyed the time. Thanks for having me.
No, wait, Dave. Price prediction.
Price prediction. I have an AI that predicts prices if you want to play with it.
Do you really?
Yeah, I'm a programmer. I know how to use TensorFlow, which is Google's AI API. And I used Yahoo Finance's API to make a program that can predict crypto prices and stock prices 1 year in the future.
Okay, you know what? I don't know. I'm not ready to put that online. Hit me up on Discord. We'll talk this weekend. Let's play around with that.
All right,
DJ's excited.
Yeah, I love it.
Thanks,
if I get
Dave.
an edge.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, buddy.
See you, dude.
Oh, we got a special guest in here, obvious. Don't look.
Oh,
you know who it
no.
is?
Don't.
You looked. I could see it in your eyes.
I didn't look. I swear I didn't look. I'm going to guess Hawk.
Yes, it is Hawk Crypto.
Damn!
But taller.
Whoa!
Yeah.
All right.
Hello.
What's up,
It's
man?
me, Hawk Crypto.
Andy,
I'm
you
wearing
must be
someone.
Hawk.
I'm wearing someone else's skin right now. I apologize for that.
Yep. So something must be in the water because in 2 days, something must be in the water. In 2 days, I've talked to Andy on Telegram. He showed up in my live streams that he never does. And then I've seen him in here too. What is going on, Andy? Are you coming into the mining circle again a little bit more?
Well, so I'm like that's what I said in your stream yesterday was that I'm like I'm a closet mining content creator watcher. I just don't interact all that often.
Okay.
But then I met you guys in person and stuff, and I knew I was going to mining Disrupt. I'm like, maybe I should actually say hi every once in a while if I'm going to join in the discussion. Plus all this proof of work stuff is like popping off. It's just a fun time to chat about all this stuff. So why not?
Yeah,
absolutely. The people love you, Andy.
So we were talking pretty heavily last
that.
night about Caspa, and
yeah.
Does that get the feelies out there to a little FOMO for you for how much we talked about Caspa last night? Give us your thoughts. I mean, you've had some great success in your past, so what are your thoughts here?
I was really thinking of, I don't know, I might still, I'm right now on the fence. I've got 1 foot on either side of the fence at the moment. I was looking at KS2 or KS3L last night.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We'll see. I've got lots of trepidation. I get a KS2. The next batch is like at the very end of August, and the difficulty is going to be somewhere in the stratosphere at that point. So I don't know. See if the price keeps up. But it's exciting. I got a big old bag of Caspa. It was a bigger bag, but I did sell some, and I'm excited for what happens next.
What price did you sell your Caspa at?
Oh, we don't need to talk about that.
No, don't talk about
that. That's not important.
Secret.
So
it's
good to take profits.
Are we gonna see a Caspa video the way we did for Flux? For me,
I mean, maybe. I mean, I'll talk about it in terms of like profit and stuff when I do maybe an update on like the passive income and stuff. I mean, I have mentioned it here and there because I posted it in my community, Sleep Money Club, when I first saw it on Bitcoin Talk before it even hit exchanges. So I was mining it then, and then when it hit exchanges, we're like, oh, this is cool. And then it took about a year before it started some serious price action, then hits, all-time high of 4 cents before it corrected down. I sold a big chunk at 4 cents. And then as it was kind of going down, I was like, oh, these ASICs are going to come online. The price is going to continue to get depressed. So I should probably sell some more. So I sold a few more chunks around the 2.5 to 2 cent range.
Oh,
I thought
come on.
keep going. Well, I I sold a lot at 4 cents,
Yeah.
the all-time high,
Good.
and then I sold a bunch more on the way down. I still have like half a milli Caspa at the moment, so got a little bit still hanging on.
So I've heard this story. I think you told this story at dinner the one night in Miami, and I'd love for you to share it here. So give us the story of, is it Pirate Chain?
Yeah.
Give us the story, because I think the viewers would enjoy this story, because I've been amazingly impressed. And so before you answer that, do you find most of these proof of work projects that you get in really early on Bitcoin Talk, is that kind of your source for a lot of these?
Certainly quite a few of them, yeah.
Okay.
I find there in the altcoin, there's so much garbage though. So I have a specially, saved URL that sorts by topic creation and date. So I see them as they're created, and then I'll probably go through 3 or 4 pages of just absolute like colossal shit before I get to something that's worth throwing the GPUs on or something else. But yeah, find most of them that way. Or the advantage of being us, we put ourselves out there online. People pop up in the comments, they reply to you on Twitter. You see these things, and you jump on one of them because it seems interesting or whatever. Last night in Hobbyist, in your stream, Lil Man was in the comments, and he's the person who, I think he tweeted at me. He talked about Neoxa way, like, I don't know, maybe a year, whenever Neoxa was first hit the scene. So yeah, like tips come from wherever. But yeah. So anyways, Pirate Chain. Yeah. Pirate Chain is one of those funny ones that I kind of heard about in 2019. I knew it was like a thing, fully private cryptocurrency. They went full hog with the whole pirate meme thing. And so I'm like, oh, this is cool. I want to mine this thing. How do you what's the best way to mine it? Oh, I'll get myself a Z9 Mini ASIC. Let me look on Craigslist. Okay, I found one on Craigslist that's only a couple miles away. $180. Sure, I'll go buy a $180 unprofitable Zcash mining ASIC to mine this Pirate Chain. Plugged into Pirate Chain, let it set it and forget it for like a year and a half. Got a bag of like 15,000 pirate or something like that, and then it hit an all-time high in just before the last bull run of like $16, and so my bag was worth like 150 grand.
Oh my
I
cashed
out
just
before. He told us too that he literally forgot about this miner. Like it just ran and built that bag. Like that is awesome.
Wow.
Like
so cool. It used 400 watts. It just sat in the shed. I mean, 2019, 2020, it's like still the tail end of crypto winter. So you're not paying attention to that stuff. You just let it ride. But yeah, that was a very profitable one. I did not cash out at all-time high. I cashed out at like $11 or $12 pirate. So I still 6 figures, but not quite the peaky peak.
Good on you. Has anybody in chat mined Pirate Coin?
And I'm mining it again. I got myself a Z15 Pro. I've got one out in the shed right now, mining Pirate again.
Again, that's awesome. Yeah, and that is what algorithm is that? Is that Equihash? Or what is that one? Yeah.
Same as Horizon, same as Zcash.
Yep. That's phenomenal. Now everybody's looking up Pirate Chain now.
Type it in.
Hey, it's got a silly name, but they are it's a pretty serious. So Zcash, I'm sure most of y'all know, is a private cryptocurrency, but it's not privacy by default. It's privacy optional. So you can do ZK Snark's privacy encryption if you send the transactions that way. But 99% of the transactions sent on Zcash are not private. Pirate Chain, it's private by default. You can't do non-private transactions. So it's like pirates, it's like if you want to buy some stuff and not let anybody know, ZK Snarks is one of the single best privacy technologies out there. Use some Pirate Chain.
I think Panda, had just gotten a Z15 as well not too long ago. I feel like I saw on his channel. I wonder if he's gone down the route of Pirate Chain with that or not.
I think so. I'm pretty sure I watched that video and then
like,
oh, there's a new Equihash miner. I'm gonna get back on the Pirate Chain bandwagon.
That's awesome. I mean, good for you. I had never heard about it until I remember you telling that story about it, and I'm like, these are like those things you hear about, right? This is those fish stories that you hear about, which is I think awesome.
So Andy,
that's right. Yeah.
Let me ask you. I've seen your channel. You've done this a couple times. These 6 figures off the crypto. What are you doing right? Timmy out there needs to know? He's not doing it right. What are you doing differently?
Well, I mean, I've said it many times. I treat crypto and my investing, my mining, like I'm a venture capitalist. So I want lots and lots of bets all over the place, with the hope that a couple of them turn out to be unicorns and do that 500, that 1,000 or more X, And I also, I'm not and I know this, y'all are all bigger miners than me, so it's very different. But my electric bill is, tiny with my miners on a shed compared to what you guys have. So I just mine and hold. And then if it all goes to zero, I don't care. But if it goes, there's 1,000x, well, then I'll cash out on that one. But if you're mining and you need to, make your daily profits or whatever, and you're selling as you go, it's harder strategy to do. But yeah, I put money in lots of places that I see potential, and that whole, set of criteria for what it has potential. And I mine lots of stuff, got lots of little random machines just mining things. And I just hope that, and I hold for a very long time. I mined Flux from day one. That was a Bitcoin talk announcement back when it was Zcash. Mine that from day one. Mine that for the entire crypto winter, 2018, 2019, 2020, into 2021. I mean, I still have my nodes and everything running. And that one I've taken many six-figure profits on because it's just been a bit early enough and it worked out. And there's been other ones that have been successes, but not quite as much. And then, of course, for every one that has turned out like that, there is 50 dead wallets on my wallet PC that will end up being. But like a recent success, Clore AI.
DJ's excited.
And that was you, DJ.
Yes.
Yeah. I was watching your stream before Mining Disrupt, and you were talking about it. And so I bought a bag, and my bag is up like 60% right now.
Whoa.
Yes, finally. Nobody else cares about Clore. Finally.
Nope. Hey, I like the Clore.
Yes.
So something I've noticed about you, Andy, that I've learned and how you stand out. So you very much stand out against a lot of other, let's say, miners and content creators in the circles is your approach is very different. Like you say you don't have as many machines and stuff like that, but you diversify very well. So based off of the time that I've known you, people that aren't familiar with Andy and just the things I've heard him talk about. So he buys lots of ASICs, but they're all hosted. So they're out of his hands. He's not doing them at home. I think you're 16 plus ASICs now. On top of that, he's got multiple nodes out there. He's always getting into nodes. There's Flux. What do you got? Flux, Neoxa, Presearch. What else you got?
Yeah.
And it's
Streamer, Presearch. Yeah. A few others.
But you diversify, and it's not like the guy does one guy. He does multiples. So I think that's the big difference is like, you are much bigger than what it appears from your, amount you've invested as well as your diversification that's out there. And it's very different. As you said, like you have a small little bit of things in a shed outside. If you guys aren't familiar, he has like a traditional backyard shed, but he's got like this little like hatch in his shed that has some miners in it. It's like this little wind tunnel thing, like a few miners. But like, so I think you need to give yourself a little bit more credit. It's just, you're not mining them local to you. You have found avenues to outsource them for hosting that have worked out really well for you.
Yeah, I mean, I have 2 mini ASICs. Well, I guess now with the KSOs, I've got 4 mini ASICs here at the house, and I've got the Z15 here. But all the other ASICs, yeah, I don't have the capability of running. My power is not as cheap as some people on this stream.
Who are those people? What
freakish rates? But but I can still make do with fairly efficient stuff on a smaller scale here. And but yeah, like diversification I highly recommend it. But you do have to like make some money to be diversified. Like if you got $500 and that's what you're trying to invest, like there's no point in splitting that up in like 10 places. Maybe you hit the lottery, and $50 of that you put in one of the 10 places you put it, your $50 turns into like $5,000, which is a crazy return on $50.
Yeah.
But does $5,000 move the needle forward in your entire life and wealth building? So, I mean, I spent the entire last bear market I did Uber, I did Lyft, I did my small business, I did all kinds of side hustles. I was just trying to make as much money as I could because I realized after going through the run up in 2017, experiencing all that, watching it all crash back down to earth, not giving up and going, okay, there's something here. There's an opportunity here. So what I need to do right now is I need to take the next couple of years. I need to make as much money as I possibly can, and then just pour it into this space and make a bunch of mistakes and lose a bunch of money and figure it all out, but get as much money in play as possible. And then when you get more money in play, then you start spreading it out and diversifying, and then you can make some like real moves. And then if you have your anchor protocol go to 0, or your strong nodes go to 0, or whatever, it doesn't matter because you still have all these other ones that are doing okay.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you think, what is it, August 4th, 2023, is it still early enough? Are we too late? Should Timmy, can't give financial advice, of course, but do you think it's too late, or it's okay this deep into the bear market to just go heavy?
I just do what you guys say. I mean, I think everything you say is financial advice. Am I not supposed to? Was that wrong?
Yeah.
When you said get Chlor, I was like, okay, DJ says do it.
Oh my God.
So I just robotic. I don't even know what it is. It's a name. It's a crypto. No, we're not. It's not too late. It's I mean, could you potentially put money in right now and watch it go down more? Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin right now is at 29. It's fighting. It's hanging on tooth and nail to 29. We could revisit 25 or 20. Sub 20, I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of bullish momentum keep us above that, but we'll see. So you could see it go down a little bit, but if you're able to have a mindset of the next 1 to 5 years, it's only going to go up if you pick the right things.
I like that answer.
Non-financial advice.
Of course, of course.
Don't you hate when people say that? It's like, this is not financial advice. I yell at people online. I'm like, you're watching YouTube. Stop taking your financial advice from YouTube. I'm like, I don't need to give a disclaimer.
I had somebody leave a comment like that today, and it said, because of you YouTubers, I missed out on Dynex and Caspa. Everybody.
Yes, we reached through your fucking monitor and grabbed your hand and clicked the mouse for you. We did that.
Yeah, people are oversensitive, trying to cover their tracks. I get it, 100%. No, that's awesome. So, quick question for you: how Neoxa, great success to you? I mean, what was it up? Neoxa's been pumping like crazy, and I know when we were at Mining Disrupt, you actually were in the process of getting your Neoxa masternode set up, right?
Yeah, I was that first night. I think I was after we had dinner. I think I went home to the hotel. And I was up till like 1 or something a.m. just getting the nodes up. But yeah, it's up like 107% in the past month.
What? 107%?
Not
yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
120% in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, and you're loving that. Now, is that why is that, I guess? And did that kick off when the master nodes were available?
Yeah. So there was initially, because they've been kind of delayed their master nodes over and over again. But there was initially a whole bunch of hype back in like January, February when they were supposed to launch their nodes. And then the price has just kind of steadily dropped down as it never actually happened. And then now they got them live, and now people see the payouts, and more people are talking about them. And yeah, people are trying to buy. And the problem is they're on Trade Ogre and they're on TXBit, and that's it. And like, so not easy. Most people like easy to use exchanges. Neither one. You have to set like buy bids and asks and stuff, that you can't just hit the market buy button. So you have to know how to do that. And the volume isn't huge. And 30 to 40% of the supply is locked up in nodes now. So yeah, it's good.
That's crazy.
That's exciting. See, you're not scared to take risk. That's what I'm seeing, Andy.
Risk is the spice of life, man.
I like that. I like that, man. You must be like 21 now. I'm telling you, you're living young. I like.
So, what
it.
is the what type of daily profitability are you seeing out of one of those? Like, are you getting payouts daily with one of those master nodes, or what is that looking like for you?
Every node, so it pays roughly on average every 14 to 16 hours, and each node pays 2250 Neoxa every 14 to 16 hours. The monthly extrapolation right now, I think, is per node like 160, 170 bucks a month.
Okay. And that was what was your initial buy-in per node? It was like 900 bucks or something.
Well, I mined a lot of my Neoxa.
Okay.
Well, I mined a lot of Neoxa, at least 1 to 2 million of it. And I bought the rest. So I have 10 nodes. My cost
Okay.
basis is $6,162.
For those, got it. Okay.
Yeah, and my bag is worth 19,000 right now. So it's, for me, it's over a 2x at this point. But you know,
Yeah.
that's you get in those the proof of work ones early enough, you might even mine them before they even have a price. So it's hard to know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I was looking at the Neoxa nodes. I thought they were a little bit pricey for the current status of Neoxa. Not a lot of price discovery on it, everything going on there. I was like, eh. But you know, now I look back and regret it because it's like, wow, look at how the price responded to those master nodes coming online. Crazy.
So
Crazy.
You mined it, right?
Correct. I always mind it. I mean, and maybe that's a big difference. No, I still have all of it. I guess that's a big difference, I guess, for me and DJ maybe versus you is like we mine a lot of our coins versus it sounds like you purchasing a lot of yours. Is that pretty accurate?
I do mine a lot of stuff. However, with 2 GPU mining rigs, 6 cars each, 1660 Ti's, and a few mini ASICs and stuff, I'm not mining, you know, unless I let it go for a while. Like I mined multiple 100,000 of my flux on
back in the day,
on my GPU mining rigs, and I only had 2 of them, and they were all 1080 Ti's and 1070 Ti rigs, but I left them on, you know, mining rigs going for like 2 years plus, you know, so it's just some of these are longer term game, and I just accumulate over the long haul. But yeah, I buy a lot.
So I got all mine. I only have like 110,000 Neoxa, but I got all mine from playing Grand Theft Auto.
Oh,
that's cool. That's a lot for just playing the game.
Yeah, just played the game for like maybe a month and a half, maybe 2, probably not 2, just like all the time. And then I would make money. They don't ever tell you how, but I would rob a bank in the game. I would shoot people. I would drive, speed, get away from cops, and it made a nice little bag actually.
Very entertaining to watch you play that online. So on that note too, DJ, when you were doing that was when Neoxa had their original model kind of rewarding gamers more than miners, right?
Exactly. So they said eventually it would get to the point where I think it'd be like 80 or 90% would go to the gamers.
Yep.
And then they've kind of nixed that completely.
Correct. They saw how fruitful it was from the more miners they could get, so they swapped their model, which was unfortunate. It kind of took away from that a little bit, but I know Neoxa has gotten into a number of different games over the last year, and not just GTA and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're going towards phone. My bad.
Yeah, but if the price goes high enough, I mean, the percentage won't matter so much if they get into, because I know they're working on Fortnite right now, which would be pretty big. That's why I thought it was such a cool project that you can get rewarded in this, coin, and while you play video games and stuff. So I think if the price goes high enough, there's enough excitement around it, and they get a couple of really good titles, I could do well.
Yeah, Fortnite, is the Fortnite one released yet? Because I feel like that would be a huge move to be like, hey, all these little Timmies, as DJ says out there, that are playing Fortnite, hey, you can earn crypto at the same time. Like, I'm really eager to see how they implement that. I haven't followed the project enough more recently on their implementations to video games, but I'm like, hey, if they make that like well done and it's simple and easy and integrated, nicely with like Epic, like that could be a huge home run for the project.
Man, if they could just announce that right now, as the price action is already so good, come on.
One man.
And if they could get listed on like a bigger tier exchange all at the same time, the Holy Trinity.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm out, guys. I'll see you.
We got to step it up, hobbyist.
All right, I'm on it.
He's making 100% in a month. We're doing something wrong.
I know.
If I were to sell it right now,
fair enough.
My Neoxa, I'm probably not going to sell for at least a year, so I'm going to wait for the bull run. And
so
it might,
this will be a little bit of a shill, but I think it's of value. So tell us a little bit about Sleep Money Club, because I know a lot of these things that you do are discussed in there. And I know if people are interested in like, dude, this guy's got his head on straight, how can I follow this? So tell the community what that is.
Yeah, so Sleep Money Club is my private community. It is a paid community, so some people like that, some people don't like that. We
Yep.
do that very specifically. I spend heaps of time putting research and written stuff and deep dives and finding little gems and stuff like that into there. So I give value. So it should be paid for that, but also just lots of scammers and various things. So we try to keep it like super close knit and have that paywall on it. But yeah, if you were to join my private Discord community, you'd see posts like 4 full-on deep dives of crypto projects, like fully vetted kind of stuff like that. On top of that, like spec mining plays, crypto passive income strategies, what we're looking at next. We even do full-on stock options and stuff. Stock options is something I've talked about once on my channel. The video didn't do so well, but I started doing that on. I sell stock options. Don't buy stock options, but I sell stock options, and I'm making thousands of dollars. Thanks for one of the few ones who watched it. Thanks. Make thousands of dollars, selling stock options too. So we just do a whole bunch of like income strategies. Everything that goes into my actual passive income strategy, which last month was a $20,000+ in crypto passive income, not including the stock options and other stuff.
Just crypto
is all stuff just crypto is all stuff I discuss in there and talk about. So if you like my channel and you like the stuff I talk about on there, but you want to get in before I make videos weeks later, that's where you do it. But no pressure. I try to make my free content as awesome as possible. So I'm happy if you just show up to my free videos and leave me a comment. But bonus points if you do join the club as well.
Yeah.
How much is the club?
$60 a month.
Okay. Hey, I think
So
you make that back pretty easy.
It's not cheap, but one of the things we try to do is we make it a real point when people come into the club that we want to get you to earn $60 plus as soon as possible. And most people who join, we get them well past that in their first month. But everybody's in different places. If you only have $500 to invest or something like that, you should not be joining Sleep Money Club. You should be just watching some YouTube videos and trying to learn how to make some more money and things like that before you jump into it. You definitely need a little bit of capital to play with.
That's fair. I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
But I got to get both of you guys in there, get you on some a live stream for the club and chatting with people and stuff.
I would love to.
We're waiting. I'm just waiting for that golden ticket to show up at my door.
Listen,
open it up.
Andy, you know what I do with my free time? I play games with these guys a little bit at night, like super, super late. Every now and then we'll play StarCraft. Besides that, I'm always looking up stocks, watching stocks or market stuff. That stuff really interests me. I know some people, when you ask them their hobbies, football, basketball, I like researching. I just like learning and making money, and I'm interested in that. And it'd be really cool to find people that are also interested in that. That's why I really like the hobbyist miner. Been talking to him for a long time. He likes money. I like money.
I work so much. It's all for money. It's all it is, Gotta secure that future.
You do. You need it. And if you don't want to
100%.
work until you're 60 or 65, and then even then not quite have enough to retire, you got to work on making a bunch of money now, investing in the right places, and then maybe you can make work optional by age 40 or age 50, or snag that a little bit sooner than most people.
40's coming up quick, Andy. I don't know about 40, but
well,
he's almost
me too. Me too, man. I'm just a couple of years away.
Exactly.
I got to get off the hamster wheel. 9 to 5, just going through the motions.
Man, make the right decisions now. Next bull run, anything is possible.
Yeah, definitely, man. Andy, it makes you think of things, man. After you talk with Andy, you're like, oh shit.
What am I doing?
You're like,
with
man,
my
I should
life?
do this. It's just it was funny. Andy and I were talking about this a little bit yesterday. So everybody writes off helium, right? Helium 5G stuff. But I've had my Helium Freedom 5 5G in my attic for months now, and I haven't installed the big antenna that I have. This Bicells antenna you can install them. It's the box you installed on the outside of your house. Well, I could install that. Now hear me out here. You ready for this, DJ? I can install that. I can list it on Moken.io. Somebody can buy that for $2,500, and I continue to host it here, and I get 25% of their earnings every single day.
That was in your video today. I watched it on the way to work.
Yeah, from the stream. Yeah. And I was talking with Andy about it because it was man, Andy's got helium equipment sitting around too. I've just haven't done anything with it, right? But then I'm looking at it, and we're doing calculations last night, and it's like, damn, I could be making like $8 a day just for hosting that for somebody right now and not doing a dang thing. And then you also get the 2,500 too. So I'm like, man, those are those smart little plays where it's like, set it, forget it, and make some money from it. It's the same thing like with like the all the different nodes and stuff. It's like, man, mining's great, but man, passive income's better.
Yeah, mining is passive income in a way, but it's passive income with maintenance and thought. So yeah, anything you can do. Well, yeah, and plus I just like there's so many opportunities right now, like helium, for example, or I don't know if you guys are doing Demo, the little car.
Yes.
Don't get DJ started.
I just hit level 3 this week. Let's go.
Okay, I'm almost at level 3.
Wow.
Or Hive Mapper is another interesting one. I just got my Hive Mapper. But like, I don't know if you watch Fire Hustle on YouTube. She's a YouTuber talking about crypto stuff.
I don't know her.
But she does Turo, and I haven't even thought about this until I watched her video about taking Demo plus Turo. So you get a car, you have an extra car or two, you have those rented out on Turo, so you make the money that way, and then each of those cars has Demo miners in it, making $50 to $100 extra per month now in tokens. If you don't sell, maybe it's gonna be worth a lot more in the next run. But there's so many cool like passive things right now that you can like stack on top of other opportunities. You just got to put those like pieces together.
Do you roll a lot of your successes into the next success? So instead of like taking something and sitting on it, are you taking it and rolling it into the next thing and rolling it into the next thing in order to afford kind of these ventures and things like that? Or what's your approach with that?
Yeah, I mean, when I take profit, I try to put some in my actual pocket, and then some goes into Bitcoin, and then some goes into stables, and then the last fourth usually goes into other things to new investments and stuff. But yeah, when I don't, I'm not like a trader on the regular, and I don't take constant profits. But when I do take profits, I try to make sure I actually pay myself amongst actually reinvesting it too. Yeah,
that's a great strategy.
One of many. There's no right answer here,
I feel like when I'm selling, there's not much left for me.
Yeah. Yep. No, I get you 100%. Like that was the other day. I took a payment in, and I didn't realize Ethereum had like a separate it wasn't ETH, it was like BRC or something like that. Like the fees are super low. So like this one company wanted to pay me that way. So on KuCoin, I like went on there, accepted the payment or whatever, and decided to like put on like my hat. It was like, I'm spending all of this on different coins and diversifying. I think I was telling you about that, DJ.
Yeah.
So I was like, we're doing 500 of this, 500 of this, you know what I mean? Like, and but like I feel like those are the opportunities that I take to get into projects more. Like that's like, not the norm for me, because usually I'm mining everything. It's very rare that I'm buying. It's just not a practice that I traditionally do. And I feel like, listening to Andy, talking with DJ, it's like, maybe I need to take some of these Bitcoin profits a little bit and start to invest it elsewhere in order to kind of put, take that step forward.
So for both of you, given that you are, mining content creators and do a lot of mining, is most of your coin and crypto acquisition just mining? You're not putting much money into it outside of that?
I just bought a Bitcoin recently.
Yeah.
Just pulled out and bought it. And Coinbase is holding everything until September 3rd. It's ridiculous. It was
like locking in.
If you want Coinbase ease, but not dealing with Coinbase, you got to check out River. River Financial.
Okay.
They're a Bitcoin only company. They're it's a great company. That's where I've bought a lot of my Bitcoin over the years. It's not as cheap as sitting like stable coin to like Binance and buying on the exchange itself. But if you want like an automate like DCA without thinking about it as easy as Coinbase, I like River a lot.
River.
So to answer your question, I'm not investing directly into crypto. It's traditionally through mining, which is, I think that's what creates more of like your slower growth, because you have to wait for it to be mined versus like purchasing outright. What about you, DJ?
I I do both.
Okay.
So I like buying. It just depends on the coin, right? Like if I know there's not a lot of time left, and I'm like, oh man, people are starting to catch on or whatever. If I start mining it, I mean, how many coins am I really gonna get? You know, maybe a couple thousand.
No, you're right.
And it'll take me months on end to get 10,000. At that point, I'm like, you know what, 50,000 of the coin. Yeah. So I'm definitely open to both. I don't marry one or the other. I just try to get a lot of coin for sure.
I think my natural hodler has also been like my biggest enemy. Like hodl what I mine versus like, ooh, let's take 10% of that and reinvest that into this spec coin or this spec coin or this project. And that's something that this year I've kind of told myself in January, like I need to take profits more. You know what I mean? Like kind of, you know, looking at those opportunities, like you even were saying, like with Dynex DJ, like, yeah, like took profits and yet went up more, but you still took your profits. You know what I mean? Like that's the valuable part there.
I was up 220%. I had to take some off the table. I don't know if you've seen the chart, Andy. It's like this.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, all right, this is coming. I got to get something.
With enough time elapsed, you will never regret taking profits. You will always regret not taking profits. So even if you took profits way too early, if you took a 200% and then you missed another 1,000% run up, but if you never took anything in the first place, you would regret that more than just taking that 200% profit. I mean, so we were talking about my Caspa a minute ago. You know, I sold some more because I thought it was going to keep going down at around 2 cents. But I was up 660% at 2 cents.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
So like that, I'm like, most people look at that and go, oh, it's at 4, it's pushing 5 right now. That was stupid. But I mean, it's like profit is profit, and it might go back down once more ASICs come online, or it might not. And I'll just, hodl my remaining bag. But if, for you guys, if most of your, crypto income is mining, then yeah, you might give it a serious consideration that some percentage of that gets, sold on the regular, held in stables until you're ready to you find the next thing that you'd be interested in, then drop it on that.
So you're converting a lot of it. So you're moving when you're taking your profits, as you said earlier, you're moving some of that in, like, as you said, you separate out, pay yourself, but you're moving a lot of it into stables then, directly at that time.
Yeah, whatever doesn't go into Bitcoin is going into a stable until an opportunity. It doesn't immediately go into something else.
Then you'll convert. Okay. Gotcha.
And then maybe 2 days later, I see something cool, or maybe it's 2 months later, and then I've got some, dry powder ready to go that's already onboarded into the world of crypto, because no one loves the bank transfer into whatever over to whichever exchange.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah. No, I like it. I think I'm gonna have to take some profits and buy a handful of things tomorrow because of you two. Just do it. Just do it. Just rip that Band-Aid off.
Do it, man. That's the only way we're gonna get money in the bull run.
Speaking of taking some profits, hobbyists, because Mining Disrupt, you're showing off the Flux watch and stuff.
I do like this.
Chatted with Daniel, and yeah, I sent him some Flux the other day, so now mine's shipping next week, so I'll have one too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Club. Congrats.
Yep. There we go. Fancy.
It's very cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. Absolutely. On that note, I'm gonna head out. I hate to steal your show here, DJ. Andy, always a pleasure. Andy, always a pleasure. DJ, thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
That's right.
Thank you, hobbyist.
You said open mic, so I hopped on here. I didn't mean to spin
no,
the entire
it's good.
time.
Oh,
It's
no.
been fun though. It's been fun.
It's been awesome. Thank you, guys.
See you guys. Thank you.
Much love.
Goodbye, DJ.
Goodbye, Andy. Oh, shout out to them, man. Shout out to them, chat. Seriously. That was awesome. Yeah, if you guys haven't checked out your friend Andy, please do. Please do. I linked it a little earlier. I'll put on some music here. Oh, I'm telling you, man. I've learned so much from that guy. It's crazy. It's crazy. If you guys know the Hobby Smarter. If you haven't checked out the Hobby Smarter, please check out the Hobby Smarter. But shout out to your friend Andy, man. Great show. Amazing show tonight. Amazing show. I think it's time to play some video games, or I'm going to see if the boys are around to play StarCraft. If not, then hey, I'm going to go look into, God, what was the name of is it Sky Money Club? I need to do it, man. There's a saying, right? Might be butchering this. The 3, maybe it's 5 closest people to you that you surround yourself with says a lot about you. So if I could find people that are similar to me, or obviously most of them are probably going to be a lot better off than me, and I can learn from them and surround myself with people at like this next level of thinking, not necessarily wealth. I don't, you know, wealth is nice too, but just elevated thinking, maybe motivate me. You know, I motivate them, they motivate me. Like, how'd you do? Man, I did great on this. And, you know, people are making money, and I need to surround myself with a group like that. I think that'd be really good for me. So, man, I got a lot of, every time I talk to my boy Andy, and hobbyists as well, but every time I talk to these guys, man, they like just get this switch, you know, turn on a switch in my head. And I'm like, man, it's time to step it up more and more and more. Does that do that for you guys? That turns that switch on? What a great outlet. Yeah, man. Turn music down? Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. I didn't even notice it was loud. Is it loud? Man, great stream tonight. All right, well, my Discord isn't as cool, but you guys should join it. Either way. So you know when I go live, we have some cool conversation in there. Check out all my friends. Thank you. Shout out to Ergo for coming on tonight. Neox actually said they'd be willing to come on next weekend. They were going to come on today, but I couldn't get them on today because they had an AMA. So, yeah, if you like Neoxa, check out Neoxa. Shout out to Ergo. Like I said, whether you like them, don't like them, I appreciate Joe coming on, and he answered all the difficult questions. So, got a little bit more information than we had before on Ergo. So, shout out to all of you guys, girls. Much love. Check out the links. Goodbye. See you on Twitter. See you on Discord.